Welcome to the Main Character Podcast. I am your host, Brandon Hamblin, main character of my own story. But this podcast isn't about me. It's about you, and all of you. Every person that has ever lived on this planet, all 8 billion people here now, all that came before us, and all that will come hereafter are the main characters in their own story. My aim is to interview people that embody living in their energy and discovering from their perspective what their perception of reality is like. Buckle up. You're about to experience the world through another main character's eyes. So my dad and my 3 brothers are addicts, and thankfully they're all clean and sober I think my dad's at 12 and a half years now.
Yeah, that's great.
But whenever I meet somebody else and they share that they're in recovery, I was like, okay, I know it's almost sacred ground, really, in a lot of ways, right?
Because in some ways, yeah. I learned in doing the recovery ministry that we all have something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's just a question of what flavor it is and how we try to hide it.
That is so well said. That is so well said. So let's go there first, because we're going to cover a ton of ground, Jim.
There's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Do you want to go there first? How did you get involved in recovery ministry?
Well, I've been involved in the church my entire life.
Okay. Yeah.
And we've lived here in Spokane for 9 years. Before that, we were in Clark County, which is Vancouver, on the other side of the river from Portland.
Portland, yeah.
And we've been, we were at this one church for a long time, and then this new pastor came along and he said, if you've got here and you got settled and you are, doing great with your walk with God, go out and help somebody else.
Yeah.
And so we went to this little church that was near our house and spent about 3 years there.
Uh-huh.
And then we went from there to another church that was just getting started. And that's where I was involved with the recovery ministry.
Fantastic.
Didn't go into it from the perspective of my own addictions, which certainly are there.
Right. Again,
but I went there from the perspective of ministering to them from the prayer side.
Yeah.
So we'd have, it's kind of like Celebrate Recovery.
Yeah.
We would have a short service, and then they would go off to their groups.
Mm-hmm.
If they wanted some prayer, they would just stay there in where the service was.
That's great.
And we would go in there with the prayer team and pray with them.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, and I love those settings, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that hadn't prayed before, or it had been a while.
Well, and here's the funny thing, they come to you and they want something.
Yeah.
And they want you to pray for them to have that something. I want my wife back. I want, whatever it is. I mean,
yeah.
And
I want to see my kids again.
Yeah. They're leading you to the place where they want to go.
Yeah.
As opposed to what we told them is, God wants you.
Right.
He wants you more than anything else. He may or may not want the solution that you have in mind.
Yeah.
But if you give yourself to him, it will be better.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So
well, and I'm always reminded of the Garth Brooks song where he's thankful for unanswered prayers.
Uh-huh.
Right. And how often do you want the thing and you don't get the thing? And I mean, there can be some anger with God in there, right? Like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
And I don't think God's concerned about that.
No, I don't think he is either.
I think he can handle it.
Well, and the thing that you end up getting, I don't know a case where it doesn't end up being better than what you wanted in the first place.
Often.
Yeah. Often. Yeah.
Very, very often. It's just a matter of letting go.
It's a matter. Yeah.
It's simple to say and not easy to do.
Yes. That's a very, very good point. Well, when you're turning your will over to...
Yeah, you're submitting.
Yeah. That's not an easy thing for a lot of people to do.
No, it's not. Even those of us who have been around God for most of our lives, it's not an easy thing to do.
So
encounter a new situation and, well, do I trust you in this particular situation?
Right.
I don't know. If I'm honest,
Yeah, that's a really good point. We've walked this walk together a number of times, but this is a different path, and I just don't know.
Right.
When did he fail you in the past?
Well, and then, you have to fall back and remember, okay, you did take me through that.
Yeah.
Turned out different than expected, but it wasn't bad.
Right.
But it was difficult to go through. But
Uh-huh.
it would have been a lot more difficult if you hadn't have been with me.
Right.
So,
Well, and I love the refiner's fire. I say that all the time, and people are like, "What are you talking about?" You have read the scriptures, right? The refiner's fire. Do you want to get tossed in a fire? Do you want the trial? Do you want the thing? Well, that's how you grow. That's how if something just gets handed to you,
yeah.
oftentimes it's not appreciated. It's pride comes in. I mean, there's all sorts of bad stuff that happens when you don't go through the trial.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think particularly as Americans, although certainly it's a human thing anyway, we've become good at trying to avoid the trials.
Yeah. That's well said.
It's
How
not good for us, but
what makes you say that?
well, I think one of the things that's interesting to me, and I've heard a couple of people mention this, and I've kind of absorbed it, and that is that in America, for the first time probably in history, we have broken down the single smallest unit rather than the family to the individual. So now, whereas every other culture in history, the smallest single unit was a family.
Yep.
Now the smallest single unit is the individual.
Yeah.
And we are pushed to perform. We're pushed to produce, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
That's a very good point. I just watched a video on Twitter of people celebrating their cat's birthday, and they had a full house. I mean, there was, 20, 30, 40 people there.
Sure.
And this cat is, stimulation overload.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'm just thinking that should be a kid's birthday party.
Yeah.
And
or even an adult's
an adult's birthday party.
Yeah.
And I'm in banking, and so what are people getting financing for? And I'm always fascinated when somebody comes in with a doggy daycare or something that caters to pets.
Sure.
And I look at their financials and I go, you guys make money hand over fist.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because people are living by themselves, or maybe it's a couple, but they aren't having kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so animals end up becoming the babies.
Mm-hmm.
And
and even I think people that are couples or, have some sort of a commitment to each other.
Yeah.
Often these days, it's the thinking is for now.
You're right.
In other words, we may not stick together, and if we don't, I'll be back on my own again.
Right. Well, it's a mutual convenience almost. Like this works out
for us for right now.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not till death do us part, or whatever the view is there.
And then that tends to kind of lead to a hardening,
Yeah.
which says, okay, I need to put my shield back up now. I need to put my walls back up now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, and we have an inverted generational pyramid, right? We've got silent generation. Well, and now they've died off significantly, right? But they had way more of a population than the boomers. Mm-hmm. I think maybe they were fatter than the silent. And then it just keeps getting less and less people.
Mm-hmm.
And it is kind of sad how, I know that there's some rose-colored glasses here, but when it was mom and dad at home, dad could work, mom could stay home. And something that I've argued about the U.S. for a long time is, even though that was pretty good because it was the family unit, we still didn't do a very good job of incorporating grandparents, right? Most cultures around the world, parents might be out doing whatever, right, and the grandparents are taking care of the kids, and everybody lives close together. So your extended family, the cousins, everybody else, they live within the same community, and you do things together.
Yeah. I think there was a structure there that's not really there anymore. And we've made it really so that the social structure, or the underlying structure, the net, the safety net, can be taken advantage of by anybody, any individual.
Right.
And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. It's just different.
It's definitely different. Well, and I want to get back to the religious piece, but I'm gonna throw this in as part of this subject. We grew up LDS, and so there was multiple times, both with me growing up and my wife and I, were, I'd lose my job or my parents, some kind of hard time, and when we'd go see our pastor, our bishop, it was, okay, have you reached out to family for help? If they can't, or unwilling, or whatever it is, then we can step in, and there's the bishop's storehouse. You can go get food.
Gotcha.
You need rent assistance. You need whatever it is. The church helps. and totally fills that gap and helps you get back on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
And to the social safety net piece, if you don't have your family around, you aren't going there.
Right.
Thankfully, we've seen a revival in Christendom. I think there's a lot of Gen Z and Gen Alpha that are going back to church, but millennials for a while there, they had stepped away from the church. So if you don't have family, if you don't have the church, you have the state.
Right.
So it changes the social safety net. Where's your safety net? You've gotten rid of 2 of your 3 main options.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
It is. It's different.
It's different.
It's, I don't think it's probably to our advantage just because there's so much vacillation with the state, you know?
Yeah.
And even as we use the term in the United States of states from state to state,
right.
You know, I mean, if you were to move from Washington to Idaho, for example, there's a huge safety net for a lot of different kinds of people in Washington.
Oh yeah.
And that doesn't exist in Idaho. No. In the same way.
No. Even when we moved over here a year after, the bank that I was working for totally pulled out of the market. So I was out of a gig. And thankfully I got another one pretty quick. But for that brief little moment, unemployment was really nice. And I live in Idaho. So I thought, I need to apply in Idaho, but I'd been working in Washington. And the check from Idaho was half as much. And then I realized, I worked in Washington. I get unemployment from Washington. It was twice as much.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to argue with that.
Yeah,
I also pay into
and
it.
some of the other stuff that they've really come up with in Washington. I'm kind of agnostic when it comes to types of government. I tend to think that we're better off with individual freedom.
Yeah.
But other than that, I could see how particular ones, have good advantages in certain areas.
Of course.
But it seems to me like the attempts that we've had at the ones that are less free, and that's a whole scope of things, but the ones that are less free in general don't tend to work as well.
No.
But on the other hand, when you have the freedom, then you have the focus on individuality, individual, and you also have less community, I think.
Yeah.
You're inclined towards less community.
Yeah.
So
it's a double-edged sword, right? How do you get the perfect balance? Yeah. I still don't think we figured it out.
Well, I don't think here on Earth there's going to be a perfect balance.
No, I totally agree with that. Yeah. Well, okay. And so let's go there, because that view, obviously some of that's going to come from religion. You said you've been around religion your entire life. What was growing up like? What did religion look like there? How was that morphed?
Yeah. So Christianity.
Yeah.
And my mom's side of my family, many of them were ministers or, connected to the church in that kind of a way.
Yeah.
My grandfather married us. He was a minister.
Cool. Yeah.
He married all 4 of his daughters, and he married 2 or 3 of his grandchildren.
I love that.
And so...
non-denominational or?
Oh, it went back and forth a little bit,
Okay.
kind of in that area of Baptist Presbyterian community church.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Yeah.
I think he started out being a Presbyterian minister. In fact, I think he was a Presbyterian minister right here in Post Falls for a while.
Oh, cool. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He and my grandmother met at Whitworth.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. Very cool.
Anyway, so I grew up, in a Christian home.
Yeah.
In a Christian church.
Yeah.
We moved around a lot when I was little.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
once I was in about 4th grade, I think, then we were pretty consistent after that.
Nice. Well, and so if they were up here, did you start off here and then moved around, or
No.
where?
No, so he was from Yakima, she was from St. John.
Okay.
And they met at Whitworth.
Yeah.
And they ended up, after they got married, they went to Yakima.
To Yakima. Okay. And so is that where you were born?
No, but my brother was.
Your brother
we
was.
lived there for several years when I was a kid.
Okay. Yep.
But once I was about 8, 9, we were in Battleground, which is in Clark County.
Yeah.
And from then on, we just figured we'd live there our whole lives.
Yeah. Why not? Well, and that's good because you get the best of both worlds. You want to hop down into Oregon?
Right.
Not that far.
Yeah. Well, especially, you don't want to pay sales tax for that fridge.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I remember because we bounced back and forth between Oregon and Washington a lot growing up. And my parents would hold on to that Oregon driver's license as long as they could, because what they would do is some retailers in Washington would still honor that and not charge the sales tax. I don't know if that's still the case.
I think it's a little different now.
Yeah, I think it's a little different now. But my grandparents, both sets were down in the Portland area, and we got to go visit grandparents, and we're picking up the fridge.
Yeah, right.
So Battleground.
It was a small town growing up. Now it's bigger.
Okay,
now it's more of a bedroom community.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's about 30,000 now.
Oh, that's pretty good size.
It was about 3,000 when I was growing up.
Oh, yeah. And that gives another sense of community too, because you know everybody.
Yeah, although we lived a few miles out of town.
Okay.
We didn't have a farm, but we had a couple of animals, and we had a small acreage.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
Yeah.
How many brothers and sisters?
Just one brother.
One brother, and you're younger?
No, I'm older.
Oh, you're the older brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a firstborn of a firstborn, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's a good spot to be in. I think that's, no, I guess
it's double-edged sword.
Yeah. Well, you end up being the test dummy.
You've got that. And then you've also got, you typically aren't allowed to do as much as the younger ones because they're trying it on you first, and they tend to be more conservative.
Yes.
And so then when your little brother grows up, it's like, oh,
why is he going to do that?
Yeah, why is he going to do that? I didn't get to do that till I was 15.
We get that from our oldest all the time. He's like, why is the 8-year-old? Why is the 10-year-old?
They get away with stuff that you never let me get away with.
Yeah, I would have gotten spanked and sent to my room, and you just let him. Yeah, we're just tired. You guys have worn us out. I have all these gray hairs now. I fought the battles on you.
Yeah,
I'm done.
So anyway, I grew up going to church pretty much my whole life. We were at a little church in Battleground.
Yeah.
And then prior to that, we were at bigger churches in Vancouver area.
Yeah.
So
but that's good influence. You get different communities that way by not staying in just the same congregation the entire time.
Yeah, and I would say that the little church that we grew up in was a good little church, little community church.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple hundred people maybe at the most on a Sunday.
Perfect.
And later, we bought my mom and dad's place from them.
Yeah.
And we raised our kids there.
Oh, wonderful.
So
that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we're going to come back to that because I don't want to skip some of the childhood stuff.
Yeah, that's all right.
What was growing up like? Small community.
I'm going to skip to the point where we lived in a Battleground.
Oh, please.
Even though it was 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Because prior to that, it was a lot of movement and a lot of confusion. I probably went to 6 or 7 schools in 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. It kind of becomes a flash.
Yeah, it does. But after that, we were, we're kind of on the edge of this acreage that had been a rainforest at one point.
Oh, cool.
And it was slowly being cut down for farms.
Developed,
stuff like that.
But it sounds like
everybody in the area went to the church, and if they didn't, they used to, and then they stopped for some reason. And, and everybody rode the bus to school. I rode, depending on which way the bus went, it was either 20 minutes or 45.
Yeah.
To ride the bus home.
It's a good time to get homework done.
Or sleep.
Yep, or sleep.
But my brother and I were notorious for staying in bed as long as we could.
Oh, of course.
And my mom would, either open the door or knock on the door. It's 10 minutes till the bus comes, And then later we'd be like, you'd knock on it again, 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes till the bus comes. And the bus would come down this hill, right? And you could hear the vibrations of things from our home. You could hear somebody coming down our driveway.
Yeah.
You could hear all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And so we could actually hear that bus coming down the road. And
Distinct.
we would literally wait until we heard the bus, fly up out of bed, throw clothes on, run out the door, through as quickly as we could. And the bus would be sitting there waiting because they knew that we did this.
Yeah.
And so they'd be sitting there waiting for us. and sometimes the kids would count.
Oh, that's so good. What was the highest count?
I don't know.
Jim, it's been 45 seconds.
But the bus driver must have been a very patient soul because, she knew what was going to happen. And
and your mom was a patient soul too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More than you could possibly imagine.
Two boys. Yeah. Two boys is a lot of energy.
We
What?
played in the woods,
Yeah. Well, and good kid, get into trouble somewhat. What
no,
was the?
I was mostly a good kid.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
There's a quote from Abraham Lincoln where he says, "Everything I need to know, I learned from my mother."
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's kind of the way it was for me.
Yeah.
You know, my dad had a lot of medical issues.
Okay.
When I was younger than I remember, he was on the police force in Yakima.
Okay.
And he was staking out a situation where somebody had been let out of prison for a weekend pass.
Yeah.
And had taken their family hostage.
Ooh.
And he had his hand up on the car, and the guy was shooting out the window and hit his hand and the car at the same time. Splinters of bullet, into the hand.
Yeah.
To the day he died, he had it in his hand.
Oh.
So then he was in a disability situation, and he had some other medical issues.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I was very close to my mom. Both of us were, both boys.
Yeah.
In different ways, but we were very close to my mom, and I learned a lot of things from her, and she was very patient and very tolerant. And
yeah, she sounds wonderful.
She's still alive. She lives here in Spokane.
Oh, does she? Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So then you still get to go hang out and learn some more wisdom from mom.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I probably do more for her now than she does for me, but
yeah,
she,
the roles reverse over time.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, back to our point, right? Like the grandparents should be around, and they should, it never stops.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. When did you follow her up here? Or did she follow you up here?
Like I said, about 9 years ago.
Yeah.
She followed us. I don't know if you want me to get into this now or later, but the reason that we followed, or that we came up here, was because I had sold my other business in the Portland area.
Right.
And after that, I was just looking around for something to do, and my brother was already up here.
Okay.
With his family.
Yeah.
And so I just expanded my search.
Yeah.
And found an IT management role here in Colfax.
Cool.
And so I did that, commute every day.
Yeah, that's a bit of a drive.
Hour and a quarter each way.
Yeah.
For 2.5 years. And then after that, I wasn't sure what to do. And so I ended up just starting another IT business.
Yeah. So how long ago did you get into IT? Was that something that you knew coming out of school?
No. So yeah, that was early on in our marriage. We're kind of going back.
I know we're going. Yeah.
But
we'll connect.
I'll
the
let
pieces.
you figure it out later.
Yeah.
So I was working retail management, before we were first married, and then when we were first married, and 70 hours a week, $1,000 a month, and they burn you out real fast.
Oh, real fast.
So anyway, I was at this meeting, this church meeting, and a guy was sitting across from me, and I didn't really know him very well. I knew who he was, but I didn't know him very well.
Yeah.
And he said, you're pretty good with music. You'd probably be pretty good with computers. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
The only thing I knew about a computer is, we got our report cards every year they were printed out.
Yeah.
And that's all I knew.
Right.
So anyway, he said that there was some business colleges in the area, that had computer related training.
Yeah.
And so I went out the next day and looked around and found one. And the administrator, or the person who was going to let me in, said, well, today we just started a new term.
Okay.
And she said, but it's full. So she said, why don't we get you processed?
Yep.
And another term starts in a few weeks.
Yeah.
And if somebody else drops out in the meantime, we'll let you know.
Sure.
Okay. So we got all of the processing done and so forth, and I was all ready to go. She called me that afternoon and she said, we had somebody drop out. She said, can you start tomorrow?
Cool.
And I said, sure.
Yeah.
And so I learned a lot of computer stuff there. Went to work for a little retail computer store in downtown Portland.
Yeah.
And then they sent me all over for training. Because this was in the early PC years.
Yeah, I was going to say,
IBM
so this is 90s?
XT, which was the hard drive version of the PC,
Yeah.
had first come out that year.
Yeah.
And so early 80s.
Oh, early 80s.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, because I remember in 92 getting our first home computer.
Okay.
And I mean, it was nothing but Minecraft and what's a kid doing on there, right? Playing on Paint, and there wasn't a lot of options.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole, I'm always fascinated by the hockey stick effect with our technology, right? Like we weren't flying much more than 100 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're on the moon, and then we go from these massive computers that had less computing power than our calculators do now to get us to the moon to now our phone does anything and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And so
my phone, stores, probably 10,000 times what that original PC did.
Yeah, it's wild. I was working on another podcast episode, and I was trying to upload it to ChatGPT to have me help write something for it. And I wasn't sure how much I could upload, and it tops off at 100 megabytes.
Oh.
And I was like, well, that 5 gig file isn't going to work. But it's just like, that's so much data compared to what was an original PC that is just, it's mind boggling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I'm sure we're going to get into that where we think it's going, but
terabytes, we're now measuring things in terabytes.
Right.
Picobytes will be next.
Okay. I didn't even know what
terabytes and gigabytes and megabytes. And then when that first PC came out, it had floppy disks that were 320 kilobytes.
Right. Kilobytes. Oh, and that's the differentiator. If people remember floppy disks, if they remember cassette tapes, if they remember, right, that for me, it's,
my first stereo was an 8-track.
Yeah, an 8-track. Yeah. There's a record store here, and they've got 8-tracks and a ton of albums and CDs and whatever format you want it on, they have it. And my son's on a record kick.
Oh yeah.
So
my grandson is
which
too.
is the right way to listen to music, really. But what ends up getting pushed off. We also had a case of CDs, my wife and I, and we got rid of them. And now he's going back through all that same music. Like, you had this on CD and you got rid of it. Like, I have Apple Music. I didn't think I was going to need it anymore.
Well, and the vinyl that I've gotten rid of over the years.
Right. Yeah. If you had only held on to it. Mm-hmm. But you never know. Which things do you hold on to and what do you get rid of? Yeah. Well, that would have been a fascinating time, because you've seen everything then being.
In terms of the personal computer industry?
Well, yeah. Being involved on all things.
Yeah, I worked on some Apple IIs.
Okay, yep.
The Macintosh came out in '83, and I brought one home for a while. We had one at home for my wife would sit down and type on it. And then, probably the thing for the next 10 years was them getting smaller.
Yes.
And faster.
Yeah.
Mostly the portability, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
We went from the luggable 50-pound compact computer.
Compact, yeah.
COMPAQ.
Yeah.
And then we went from there in the next 10 years to your size.
Right.
Not as thin, but.
Yeah. This thing is.
Yeah.
I can toss that around it.
Yeah.
No problem. In fact, I still to this day for work, they have a Dell laptop for me. Mm-hmm. And that thing, I swear, weighs at least 10 pounds. I'm like,
if it's got a CD, that's the difference. If it's got a CD, it went from 3 pounds to 6.
Yep.
And
yep. I think that is the difference too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I'm supposed to be portable with that thing. And I'm like, can you just give me a Mac or a Microsoft? What's the Microsoft foldable?
The Surface.
Yeah. The Surface. I like those ones too. Okay. So we totally glanced over some stuff there, because in there you met your wife.
Yeah.
So go through school. You're catching the bus.
Yeah.
At some point, did you go to college? Did you? What was the end of high school to college?
Okay, so, went through grade school, what we called middle school, and high school in Battleground.
Okay. Yep.
And I was a friendly kid. Had lots of friends.
Yeah.
Didn't date too much, but had a lot of friends.
Yeah.
And,
Sports or what were your interests?
Yeah, I was in the band.
Oh, yeah. What'd you play?
Well, first I started out playing trumpet and then French horn.
Oh, yeah. The French horn.
And then
trumpet's great.
Taught myself how to play the piano because I broke my ankle and couldn't do anything else. And so we had an old upright grand at home.
Yeah.
So I took the front panel off and just watched the keys as I played things and kind of taught myself how to play by chords and things like that.
That's great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Drove my dad crazy, I'm sure, because he was at home, because of medical stuff. And,
yeah.
I would play the thing for 5 or 6 hours a day.
Good. And for the record, especially because you guys can't see it, but my drum set's right here, I would much rather have our kids playing the piano that we have downstairs than that thing. It's loud. I think our neighbors would agree with me.
Now I have an electric weighted keyboard that you can put the headphones on.
Yes. Oh, and those are so nice too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I graduated from Battleground High School. And there's a community college there in Vancouver.
Okay. Yeah.
I had done a lot of music in school, obviously. Oh, and I also played tennis on the tennis team.
Cool.
And was in the debate club.
Oh,
those were my
nice.
3 things.
Yeah. Okay. Well-rounded.
Yeah. Well, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, because I was so interested in music, I wanted that to be my vocation. I really did,
Yeah.
But
it ain't easy.
No. You have to kind of be the best of the best of the best.
Yeah.
And I wasn't that good. I was good at composing. I was good at arranging. I was okay at performing. We had a band for a couple of years, and so I went to college and went to music college.
Yeah.
There in Vancouver. For a couple of years. And then I met my wife. We were both working at the Sears at the mall.
Oh, I was wondering what the retail was.
Going to the college at the same time.
Okay. Yep.
So
you kept seeing her, bumping into her.
Yeah, kind of intentionally on my part.
Ah, smart man.
She was the candy girl.
Oh.
And I was the stock boy.
Ah.
Across the credit room.
Yeah. Sounds like
she
we
didn't
could
want
have a
anything
movie
to do
about
with
this.
me at first. She'd see me coming and she'd head to the back room.
It's time for a break.
Yeah, exactly. But we had a good friend, and to this day still have that friend, who worked in the same department as she did. And I knew him from high school because we had played in some regional orchestras together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So anyway, and he just convinced her, well, just go out with him once, and if it's okay, then but if you don't like it, then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So she did, and that was the beginning.
That was the beginning.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Where is she from?
Vancouver.
Oh, she is too.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, she went to one of the high schools there that Battleground thought they were rivals with, and her high school thought, we're not rivals with you guys. You guys live out in the sticks.
Yeah. Now, who won that battle, though? Was
It
Vancouver?
went back and forth.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Just a little bit of, because I grew up, my high school years, I was over in Snoqualmie. And so we were, technically, I guess, the sticks compared to the Issaquahs and the Bellevues and the guys that they thought they were a little bit bigger, but we usually whomped on them. I like those little rivalries between local communities. I think they're fun.
I think that's really good for America.
Yeah.
You grow up and you got a loyalty, to your school.
Yeah.
It was the Beach Boys song, "Be True to Your School,"
Yeah.
And
well, okay, so there's a good question. So you had an interest in music. Who are your bands that you liked? What else?
Oh, yeah. So it was really weird because I wasn't even aware that there was church music or Christian music that wasn't church music.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
So I grew up singing in church, and all that stuff, and I liked some of that music,
Yeah.
At the little church we were at, we tended to have a little bit more modern hymnal.
Okay, yeah. Because some of the old hymnal stuff can be kind
and some of them are tied to denominations,
Of course.
And if you go back into a Presbyterian PCUSA or whatever, you're going to get the same hymnal, or whatever.
Yep.
But we had this a little bit more modern, had a few choruses in it, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so, I liked that well enough, but at the same time, I really liked some of the pop and rock music that, that I was hearing during my time,
Of course.
I was listening to bands like Journey and Boston and the Eagles and,
good picks.
Elton John, Barry Manilow.
Yeah.
Some of those different. Yeah. And there was a lot of one-offs in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of one-hit wonders.
Yeah, of course.
And I like that band, and then
you never hear from them. Yeah.
So now I can download the one song I want.
Yep, exactly. You don't need to buy the record.
Exactly.
Just get the one that you want, because the rest of it ain't good anyways. My son and I have talked a lot about that, because he's so all over the place with discovering music right now. And whatever app him and his friends are using, they can see what the other person's playing, and it gives like a weekly, this is the age of the music that you're listening to.
Oh, okay.
And so he's in a band. His lead singer, her music tends to be about 8 years old.
Okay.
Gabriel's is 24 years old, which means he's 14. He's listening to the same contemporary music that I was listening to at 14. And so it's, he's already gone through his Nirvana phase. He's in a Soundgarden phase. But we were playing a game the other night, and we have our Sonos out, so we can just, he also just went through a Fleetwood Mac phase, which was really good. So we turned on Fleetwood Mac radio. So a couple Fleetwood Mac songs, then Elton John came on, and then Boston came on, and then Journey came on. And he's like, who's this? Who's this? I'm like, oh, you still have a whole world of fun music that you get to hear for the first time, which I'm a little jealous of.
Yeah,
because they're still fun.
The first time you encounter certain things
it's special.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
One artist that I've rediscovered that I really liked back then, but he didn't actually do a lot of singles. He mostly did songwriting for other artists. Is Boz Scaggs.
Oh, yeah. I haven't heard that name in a while.
About 20 years ago, he came out with this live album. It was really incredible.
Oh.
And
I'll have to check that out.
I got a bunch of songs off of that.
Yeah. Cool. I didn't realize he wrote a bunch of stuff for other people.
Yeah. Rita Coolidge. Several other artists.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Okay. So see, I still have stuff that I could go discover.
And then, of course, you got ones that are songwriters like Jimmy Webb, who never really had much music out himself.
Right.
But, the songs, everybody's familiar with them.
Yeah.
So,
that's fun.
So between the church, music school, what I was listening to on the radio, I had a pretty wide variety.
You had a good variety.
And to this day, I'll listen to anything, from Rachmaninoff to rap.
Yeah. You just like music.
Yeah.
So my thing with that is I just need the artist to be an artist, right? So rap's a good example where if you're sampling everybody else's music and then you're having somebody write it and you just happen to be the right poster child for the thing, and that pop music is notorious for this.
Oh, yes.
I need you to be talented on your instrument if you play an instrument. If you're a vocalist, I need that to not be just auto-tuned to death. I need you to be good at music. And because I think there's almost a soul transfer there. You've been given this God-given talent that you've worked on. You're sharing it with the world. I get to experience it.
Yeah.
And I don't care. It could be classical. It could be rap. It could be rock. It could be name the music.
Right.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. And that's, I don't know, it comes and goes,
Totally.
I mean, in pop stuff in the 90s, and Milli Vanilli and that kind of stuff. You had a lot
famously
of that.
got caught for
ad-libbing, lip syncing.
Lip syncing.
And so I guess it comes and goes. 70s wasn't great music that came out of the 70s. There was, I would say that the classic rock or the soft rock or the country rock stuff came out of the 70s.
Yeah,
and then disco.
Yes.
And nobody listens to disco anymore.
Which is too bad. I do love me some disco.
Well, there's some of us good.
There's some good stuff in there. Well, and oh gosh, what's his name? I can't remember the name of the artist, but Dave Grohl, my favorite drummer. He's Foo Fighters, Nirvana. He was talking about how he came up with the intro drum part for "Smells Like Teen Spirit." He goes, "It's just disco." And whoever the artist was, he was talking. You could just see the light bulb go, and like. Oh, because that's what, at the end of the day, that's what we do with music, right? Is we build off of what somebody's already come up with and we put our twist on it.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of stuff that's influenced by disco, a lot of stuff that's influenced by the light rock, and I mean, the 70s had a lot of influence on everything.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I would say that, and you look at, for example, the R&B stuff that was in the 70s, and that just kind of merged into the 80s rap and so on and so forth. And so,
and it feels like somebody does something revolutionary, and there's other bands that are in that vein that they all kind of group together, and that defines that era. And then within 5-10 years after that, the people that are still doing that, it's become the pop version of.
Yes.
And like grunge at the beginning of the 90s. That's always my reference point is, right, that you took 80s rock and you turned it on its head.
Uh-huh.
And then all the grunge from like the late 90s, early 2000s is just, it's forgettable because it's just straight copycat stuff and it's pop.
So about the time we got married, I managed a record store.
Oh, you did? Oh, cool. Yeah.
And so I was a little over a year doing that. And we were kind of in a suburban area, but we would get people from Portland coming over and we would get people from the country coming in. And, so, we sold a lot of different kind of stuff.
I was going to say, that's good exposure to a lot of stuff.
I would have a classical music morning, like 3 hours of classical on a certain day.
Yeah.
It would come in and go back to the back and look through all the classical stuff.
Yeah.
Then I'd have rap or country or, whatever.
Yeah.
Plus, also, we had just gotten out of Vietnam in the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
And so there was a lot of anti-establishment music from that era.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, it was in the 60s, but also in the late 70s.
Yes. Absolutely.
And then from there, you went into new wave and punk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oingo Boingo.
Yeah.
Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And we had it all.
Well, and that's a good point too, because our music ends up being so heavily influenced by what's happening in the culture at the time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so it ends up kind of being this really cool, I love history.
Me too.
Whether it was a history book or a biography or, some historian doing whatever, or I love being able to hop on YouTube now and deep dive, or Dan Carlin's podcast, Hardcore History, or whatever it is. I love history. Mm-hmm. But I always forget that, you listen to the music from that era and just get there's a vibe there.
Yeah. Well, and in Battleground, in the library of the high school, there was a big poster. And I don't know if you've ever seen it, but Life magazine during the Vietnam War had a picture on it that one of their photographers had captured of a guy dying in another guy's arms.
Yeah.
It was very bloody. It was very muddy.
Uh-huh.
Well, that kid was from Battleground.
Oh, he was?
So they blew it up and they put it in the library.
Oh.
And yeah, I mean, we were more conservative there, but at the same time, there was a lot of this generation saying to our previous generations, why are you doing this kind of stuff to us?
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Well, and that would be a pretty dang good daily reminder too. You walking in and seeing that.
Right. Well, a lot of people didn't know the story. And so, do you tell them the story? And they're like, oh, it means a lot more to me now.
Right. Well, and I mean, that was a big thing with Vietnam, right? It was really the first televised war.
Yeah.
And
well, and in a sick way, the first war where they kept score.
Yeah.
It was almost like a football game.
Yeah.
Well, this week, 20,000 Vietnamese died and 50,000 Americans died, and, whatever it was.
Yeah. When that's coming on your television every night.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
and sadly, it didn't take us long to get used to it and
numb to it almost.
Yeah. And we did think of it as kind of keeping score.
Yeah. That's a really good point.
It was kind of sick.
Yeah. Well, the modern version of that was COVID,
I suppose.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was the death counts on so that's such a interesting origin to that.
Yeah.
Keeping score. Yeah.
Yeah. Keeping score through the horror.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did that end up? Well, because, okay, I know we're going on a weird direction here, but coming out of Vietnam, 80s, well, 90s. No, it is the 80s. You got the Iran Contra
Yeah.
stuff.
Late 80s.
Yep, late 80s. Then you've got the Kuwait. Was that Kuwait? Or the first
Right.
Iraq War?
That was
in the
late
early
80s.
late 80s, early 90s.
But
well,
you got to go back because Vietnam was still going on through 75.
yeah,
And Ford was the one that shut it down eventually,
yeah,
you know. But all during that time it goes way back to Kennedy,
right.
you know. And Kennedy wasn't real hip on it, but Johnson was gung-ho.
Yeah,
you
oh
know?
yeah.
And then Nixon was like, oh, we're going to keep our commitments. you
Right.
know. But I'm really not a war president.
Right.
And then, finally it just got shut down because too many people thought this isn't our war. We shouldn't be there.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And without America helping, you know.
Oh yeah, there was nothing that was going
Right.
to, yeah.
I mean, you can even go back further in Vietnam to the 50s when the French were in there.
Right.
And the French left them. They abandoned it.
Right.
You know, they said, we're not going to do this.
Yeah,
you know?
what are we doing?
Yeah. So,
well, and the other overlay that, again, I always forget about because I was born in 87 is the Cold War.
yes.
You've got that overlay on everything.
Yeah. And that was really an interesting phenomenon for people because so many of us just assumed eventually the bombs are going to hit.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us just assumed that that's how we would go.
Yeah.
You know?
Somebody was just saying that on another interview that I was watching that's become so ingrained in our psyche that we don't even think about it anymore. Because I mean that still could happen, but it would have been intensified. But still, also it's just there.
Yeah,
you can't let it bug you because you have to go about your daily life.
You know how when you're at a peaceful place and stress happens, it's not a huge deal.
Right.
But when you're at a stressful place and more stress happens, it's 10 times worse.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just adding the same amount of stress, but it's where you started.
Right.
You know?
And your baseline's already up.
And so during the Cold War, we were already at a certain point of presuming that World War III was going to come. It was just a matter of time.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And then it would be a war of nuclear weapons.
Right.
And
over real fast.
Yeah.
What was the Einstein quote? I know World War III will be fought with nuclear weapons. World War IV.
I don't know how World War III will be fought, but I know the next one after that will be with sticks and stones.
Yeah, that's the quote.
Yeah,
something like that. You said it much better than I did.
I just saw it the other day.
Yeah. So you've got all that overlay. You get married to your wife.
Yeah.
And then where do you guys
81,
go from?
we got married.
81. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you get into tech.
Yeah. Just shortly after that.
Yeah. And then, so take us from there.
Well, it takes off in terms of, so I'll talk about the business side of things or the job side of things first.
Yeah.
So I was in tech for, the next 8 or 10 years doing things for other people.
Yeah.
Learned a lot during that time, both about customer service as well as about how to run an IT business.
Yeah.
And I worked for a small IT firm right before I had my own company.
Was your church buddy right that music and getting into tech was a good translation?
Oh, yeah. It's the same brain.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I
Algebra,
didn't mean to interrupt. That
algebra, accounting.
Yeah.
Music, computers.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all the same kind of thinking.
Tapping into the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
And so the school I went to was about coding, which is all they had back then.
Yeah.
But when I left there, I worked at a small retail shop.
Okay.
So I got to know customer service. I got to know the technology, current technology.
Yep.
The new coming technology.
Yep.
All of that. And then after about 8 years, I started my own company. And we just, handled IT for smaller businesses.
Nice.
And just, whatever they didn't want to do, we would do for them.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I'm always fascinated by the adoption of technology.
Mm-hmm.
And again, to put a date on myself, it was, hey, can you help us program the VCR?
Oh, right.
Right.
Sure.
Or
so it doesn't flash 12 all the time.
Right. Exactly. Or whatever that thing was. And now I find myself I have to go to my kids and say, hey, how do I do this on my phone?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do too.
Which is, well, and you've got like the foundation of foundations.
Right.
You followed it all the way along.
You got the concepts, you got the troubleshooting ability, you got all of that.
Yeah.
And still, how do I do this one particular thing? And they're on it.
And they're on it,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
Yeah.
That is probably another part of the conversation. What was it like starting your company, handling IT for other small businesses? Because adoption is still adoption. And even though compared to today, easier version of the technology,
Mm-hmm.
would you say today's customer versus, the 90s customer, roughly that time frame, was it still, has your job changed all that much, or the adaptability?
Not conceptually.
Okay. Yep.
The technology has certainly changed.
Yeah.
And you've got to keep on top of that all the time.
Right.
You got to go read stuff. You've got to go to conferences. You've got to, do the various things to keep you up to date on the technology. But the ideas, the concepts stay the same.
Stay the same.
Yeah. Because you've got something you want to do.
Yeah.
And doing it as a human would either take too long or cause you too much stress or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So you're going to have the computer do it.
Yep.
Okay. And that's true artificial intelligence. We can talk about AI and AGI later.
Yeah, we'll come up to that.
But that is true artificial intelligence, taking a skill that a human would do and have a computer do it.
Yes.
Okay, that's basically
artificial
all it is.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what Alan Turing envisioned.
Yeah.
And so the concept is introduce them to the technology.
Yeah.
Tell them what it can do generally.
Yep.
And then have them play with it and learn what they can do, and then have them ask questions about more specifically what could they do.
Yeah.
So, for example, let's say you're going to show somebody how to run a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And they've never done it before.
Yep.
Okay. Let's sit down. I'll show you how to start the computer, how to get into the Excel spreadsheet or whatever software you're using.
Yep.
And how it works. You know? And, envision it like a tabular type of thing in accounting, but it's on the computer instead.
Right.
And so now I'm going to show you the basics of that. And then once I've shown you the basics of that, you play with it for a while.
Yeah.
And try different things.
Right.
And now, of course, there's videos out there. Do I want to do this? There's a video for it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care how specific it is.
There's a video.
Do I want to do a random search across the table in Excel?
Right.
There's a video for it.
Yeah. How do I add this calculation in there to spit out this across these
How do I have
cells?
it round up instead of down? How do I,
There's
all of that stuff.
Yeah.
We used to have to tell everybody that. Now there's a video for it. But anyway, they would come up with their more specific questions, and they would run along mostly doing what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Then they'd have a question, and we'd try to answer for them.
Yeah.
So,
so having that customer service experience served you very well.
Yes.
On the tech side.
Yep. Very well.
Because you're more or less, you are the translator.
Yes, exactly. In fact, sometimes we say it that way. Yeah, I speak tech.
Yeah.
You just tell me what in English you're trying to do, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
And it was. So when I was going to college, the last class I took was a consulting class.
Okay.
Okay. And it was like a little light went on. I thought, I could do this. I could do this for other people. I could make money doing this for other people.
Those are a couple good light bulbs.
And so I just kept that in the back of my head and went forward. And then when it was time, it was like, okay, now it's time.
It's time.
Yeah.
Well, and when did you know that jump off point is? Because not everybody's made to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
And so to go from working for other people to go, no, I can do this.
Yeah.
What was that?
Well, I had experienced a lot of the day-to-day stuff for other people.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much changing of hats there was in having your own business, but it turned out I was okay doing that.
Yeah.
In fact, I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I had worked for a small consulting firm in Portland for about 7 years. And then I was approached by somebody I knew from another time, and they wanted me to come work for them. Within 6 months, it didn't work out.
Okay.
And so it was like, okay, this didn't work out. Now's the time. Just take the jump.
Yeah.
And
was that hard? Was that scary?
Summer is 92.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And it was a little scary, but I was pretty confident.
Yeah.
I was I mean, like I said, firstborn of a firstborn,
Right.
so you don't lack of confidence.
No. Yeah. That's for sure.
And so I just jumped, and it was summer. And by the end of the year, I had 12 clients. By the end of the following year, I had 40.
Oh, wow.
So,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
How many people did you have working for you? Did you end up
at that point? It was just me.
It was just you,
for the first couple of years.
Yeah. Okay.
And then what I really needed was somebody to do the paperwork.
Yeah.
So I hired my niece part-time.
Oh, good.
And she did paperwork for me, billing and receiving and, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then from there it got bigger. And at one point I maybe had 6 or 8 people working for me.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
So you started that in 92.
Yeah.
And then is that what you took all the way up until you sold it and moved here?
Right.
Oh, so you built that up
2014.
Yeah. Okay. Very nice.
Over 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sold it to the employees.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
It was so much better for the customers,
Oh, yeah.
There was no transition for them.
Yeah, no.
So
my brother's company just got bought by some huge, I don't even know how many billions of dollars they're worth. And it's just at that point, it's numbers. Nobody cares about anybody downstream.
Yeah.
And so when you sell it to your employees, they care, they have buy-in, they have the relationships. You're changing their lives.
And I'm a huge fan of small businesses.
Yeah.
There's like 60 million in this country.
Yeah. They're the engine. They're what make everything go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They account for a lot of the economy.
Oh, yeah.
And not everybody can do it. I've seen people fail at it, but I've also seen people succeed at it. And
yeah,
I've always tried to encourage anybody who wanted to do it and give them a little bit of pointers.
What would some of those pointers be? What if somebody's
do
thinking about
things for yourself as long as you can.
Okay.
Yeah. So mostly I would talk about service businesses.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you can do it, you're saving yourself having to pay somebody else to do it. So do that kind of thing as long as you can.
Yeah.
Then if you get to the point where you're big enough, then you almost have to switch the role. Have them do as much as they can.
Yeah.
Because you need to do other stuff.
Right.
Stuff they can't do.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff. If I was advising somebody to start either a retail business or something that was going to, like manufacturing or something that was going to take a lot of investment, I would say make sure you've got enough.
Yeah.
Because about 75% of all businesses fail.
Right.
And most of them fail within the first year because they didn't invest enough.
Right.
Depending on the location, depending on the type of business, you got to have anywhere from 2 to 5 years of investment in it.
Right.
And
that's time and money.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it ends up becoming your baby in a lot of ways.
So that's the kind of thing I enjoy doing.
What are you most proud of from that time?
That I was able to provide good services for people and at the same time develop great relationships with them.
Yeah.
And even at times provide, either part-time or full-time work for several people that, kind of relied on. I remember this interview that I listened to online or maybe on the radio from Kenny Rogers.
Oh, yeah.
And he had the music stuff.
Yeah.
Then he had the chicken place. Right? Kenny Rogers Chicken. And I remember him saying, I'm basically responsible for the well-being of 600 people plus their families.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that gets a little it gets a little, weighty.
Yeah.
Times,
oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because I can feel it.
Yeah.
And so I certainly didn't have it to that degree, but you do feel a little bit of responsibility.
Yeah, for sure.
For those people and for your customers. And, you want to do a good job for them. And, and I got to meet all kinds of people and talk to them. And,
it's fun.
Yeah.
People are endlessly fascinating.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, and when you get to go out and serve them like that, and you get to see another side of them too, I'm sure, because why is my computer not working?
You see both. You get the appreciation.
Yeah.
And you also get the frustration at times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any regrets from that time?
Well, I probably didn't make enough plans for retirement, being self-employed.
Okay. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's not going to look typical.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, of course. Well, and that's one of those where, because I'm a part of multiple networking groups as you are and have been, and there's always the life insurance guy, and there's always the investment guy, and like, yeah, I should probably be doing more with this thing, but when's a good time? Because I'm also paying for my kids' soccer, and I'm doing it, and it just kind of gets. I have time.
There was 2 years
what I
where
always
we
had in
had
my head.
all 4 kids in private school, and
That's not cheap.
no, even back then in the 90s, it was $1,500 a month.
Yeah.
Now it would be 4 times that.
Oh yeah.
But my wife says I still can't figure out how we did that.
Right.
I mean, it worked and we got them through, but
Yeah. Divine
how we did it.
assistance.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's the only way that I can explain half of it.
Yeah.
Well, and I that kind of goes back to the beginning of our conversation with, I should be investing in my kids. If I have a spare penny, it's going towards developing up my kids. And like, yeah, I need to worry about my retirement. But again, in a lot of cultures, you're investing in your kids. And then when you're in your older age, your kids are also helping take care of you.
Right.
Where Washington has this thing where you're paying into long-term care, which
Right.
actually only covers about like 3 to 4 months.
3 days worth,
maybe.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But again, we're depending on the state to take care of a bunch of folks that maybe haven't prepared for retirement and old age correctly. But again, that should be incumbent on the family first and foremost, because you invested in them and then they get to help take.
And I think some families still do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
But
Well, that's that. Yeah. That's a both. All of that's good. The advice, the what you're proud of.
Yeah.
The regret piece. That's all
and
helpful.
I did spend a lot of time with my kids, which surprised me because I had my own business. But I found that I was a pretty good delegator.
Yeah. Good.
So I could delegate it to other people and then be able to go on a trip with a kid or
That's good.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, and that's the classic, people on their deathbed. What do you wish you had done more of? It's not work.
Oh, right.
It's spend time with kids.
More days at the office. Yeah. No.
Right. Yeah. So do anything more on the business side before we want to switch over to the family side?
No,
because I do have.
May wander back. But
we'll wander back because I have a couple historical questions in there.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. But brought up the kids. So
okay. So my wife and I were married in 1981, and it didn't take us too long to figure out that we couldn't have kids by ourselves naturally.
Okay.
Both of us had some issues.
Yeah.
And we actually learned reading about it that 1 out of 7 men and 1 out of 7 women can't have kids naturally, which creates, when the math is combined, 1 out of 5 couples.
Oh, yeah.
Can't have kids naturally.
And you happen to be one of the 5.
Yeah. And so that's why IVF has become so popular.
Yeah.
And adoption and just all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's, well, and it's so needed too.
Surrogacy, I guess, also.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, and so then I take it you guys knew that you had wanted kids.
Yeah. Yeah. We didn't want to do it right away, but, we did want it. And I'd say 3 or 4 years in, we thought, well,
it's about time.
It'd be time.
Yeah.
That's when we discovered we couldn't have kids naturally.
Yeah. Was that upsetting, or was it just okay, then we'll find another way?
That's the funny thing. I thought it would be upsetting.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We were, in fact, her OBGYN said to us, don't you want to try to have your own kids?
Yeah.
Like, well, they'll be our own kids. They'll just be adopted.
Exactly.
Yep. And so let's see, my wife's cousin had gone through adopting someone from Korea.
Okay.
A baby from Korea.
Yeah.
So we knew that approach.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd try that.
Those waters had been navigated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. First of all, we couldn't, the adoption agency, I believe in the one in Korea. So you work with an adoption agency here. They work with an adoption agency in Korea, which is also an orphanage typically.
Right. Yep.
And so we learned that we couldn't do it until we were at least 25.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, was that because of the Korean agency or
I
the
think
U.S.
it was.
agency?
I think it was the Korean agency, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, and so and it might have been a Korean government thing too.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, so you got a lot of players along the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so after we were 25, then we applied.
Yep.
And let's see here. I guess we were both 28 when our first daughter came from Korea. And we got her when she was 4 months old.
Yeah.
She screamed every night.
Welcome to parenthood.
Yeah. For 2 to 3 hours.
Oh, no.
And the pediatrician, who was the most wonderful pediatrician in the world, said to us, "It's okay. She can scream that long."
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not there, doc.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Easy for you to say. You want to come over tonight?
Yeah, pretty much. But, it was so anyway, we kind of tried to figure that out and learn all that. And then,
well, because there's a bajillion reasons why that could be, and you're trying to figure all of them out, and you just want some sleep. And I'm pretty sure my oldest, for the first 8 months of his life, didn't sleep a night.
Yeah, she didn't sleep through any night until she was 8 months.
Yeah.
She didn't sleep through all the nights until she was 2.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. But then it sounds like you were crazy enough to do it again.
Well, so then we had her as an only child for quite a while.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so she was almost 8 when we got the others.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And they were a sibling group from Oregon.
Okay.
Okay, so now I need to fill you in a little bit.
We can't bypass her.
I need to fill you in a little bit here.
Yeah.
She was an only child. She loved being an only child. She would have been a wonderful child, only child all the way through.
Yeah.
And then we were looking to add maybe a couple of more children.
Yeah.
And we thought we should probably just do it all at once,
Yeah.
And
rip off the Band-Aid.
There was these 2 kids that were in the system, and back then you had to go to the state office, Oregon Children's Services or whatever.
Yeah.
And you would look for these huge books, these big binders.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there was pictures and a little bit of narration
Yeah.
about each group of kids.
Yeah.
And my wife focused on the ones that had multiple siblings because we just wanted to get it done and, go from there. We were thinking 2 more.
2 more. Okay.
She's looking through the books and, she's very interested in this group of 3, but that sounds a little intimidating.
Uh-huh.
And so we landed on these 2 kids, and we went through the entire process all the way to the end, and we were about ready to adopt them.
Yeah.
And a biological relative came in.
Oh, yeah.
At the last minute.
Yeah.
And most states now give preference to biological family.
Makes sense.
And so that was kind of swept up from under us at the last minute.
Yeah.
And that was difficult. But my wife said, I didn't really see them fitting well in our family. She said, I kind of always had a vision of this rainbow of colors in our family.
Oh, yeah.
And so I said, okay, well, back to the books,
Yeah.
And so this group of 3 kids that she had been looking at before, she kind of gravitated back to them. They were a sibling group. By the time that we would adopt them, they were 6, 4, and 3.
Okay.
2 brothers and a sister. They were in separate foster homes because it was a little bit much, for one.
Yeah.
And she was doted on. She was a little princess, at the foster home. And the other 2 were young enough but they knew who she was because they would get them together occasionally.
Okay. Yeah.
And so then basically we just did the same thing. We got them together, but with us there.
Yeah.
And then we did that a few times. And then, then we decided we wanted to adopt them.
Yeah.
And like I said, they were 6, 4, and 3 when our oldest was at almost 8.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah.
So we had 4 within, 6 years, 5, 6 years.
Okay, so I have so many questions.
Okay.
So let me preface it really quick because my mom had me when she was 19, and my biological dad was out of the picture pretty quick.
Yep.
And so who I consider dad came into the picture, and when I was a year old, they got married. And so that's dad, right? And I've got 3 younger brothers between my mom and dad.
Sure.
And so, but I've never thought of myself, like, I know technically I'm a half sibling. I know technically he's my stepdad, like all those things, but he's dad and they're my brothers. And I've never thought anything other than it's our family. Right. And my dad to this day will even say, you act more like me than the other 3 do. And so I'm always fascinated by nature versus nurture.
Oh yeah.
I'm fascinated by because taking on one baby is already, whether you have it naturally or you adopt, already crazy.
Yeah.
Right. Now you're adding 3, and it's not at the baby stage. They already have some proclivities and some experience.
Right.
What happened?
Well, I mean, there's so many places I could go to answer your question.
Yeah, it's kind of broad. Yeah.
Yeah, it is very. They all came into our home, and, you know, we tried to have a very loving home.
Yeah.
So as adults, they would all acknowledge that they were loved tremendously.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, if you don't have that, you're not going to have success. You need that.
Yeah. Right. But sometimes there's love, but, you know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, we love them, but we wish they were different. We love them, but, you know, whatever.
Right.
And we tried to be as unconditional as we could be.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's kind of a separation between love and discipline.
Yeah.
You know,
for sure.
And I use that term generally. But yeah, they would acknowledge today that they were very loved growing up.
Yeah.
I don't remember much of that first year.
No,
you know,
I can't imagine.
I remember my wife saying that the dinner table was kind of like conducting the orchestra, you know, turn to this group. He wants something, turn to this group and get them to do something. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. Well, because you're combining how you want things to go, how you imagine. I mean, let's just take the dinner example. Yeah. How dinner should go.
Right.
Once you're done, you're taking your plate to the sink, washing it off, putting it in the dishwasher. Right. Whatever your expectations are.
Right.
But then you can't even get past eat your broccoli.
Right.
And
well, not just that, just serving them, or you know, having them take their own food, or, you know, for the younger ones, having to cut up their food for them.
Right.
Or, you know, whatever.
Right. And how is your oldest also adapting to having 3 new siblings?
Yeah. And that was a big part of it.
And how are the 2 boys taking to now having their sister around full time and
another one? Yeah.
There's a lot there.
There is. It's a tremendous amount there.
Yeah.
The oldest of the 3 was the girl.
Oh, she was the girl. Okay. Yeah.
And then, so we had our oldest daughter.
Yep.
And then we had those 3, and she was the older of the 3.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So
I misunderstood.
2 daughters now that are both the older ones.
Yep.
And the boys are the younger ones.
Got it. Okay. Yep.
So she connected with our previous daughter, our existing daughter.
Yeah.
Fairly well.
Yeah.
You know, they would fight a little bit, not too much.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
The older one made it very clear she was in charge. You know? And I think that was probably for her own protection and sanity.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even she was more mature enough than the others that she could actually kind of babysit when they got older.
Yeah.
You know, when she got older.
Right.
Inevitably, there would be a phone call that the littlest one was, you know,
causing chaos and confusion.
Chaos, yes.
Yeah. Well, and boys too. Boys bring a different energy.
Right.
Before I touch on the boys, were the girls, because I'm finding with my daughter, the youngest of my 4, she's like out of the box nurturing, where the boys are just chaos.
Yeah.
Either of the girls, did they have that kind of like
a little bit?
Okay.
So without getting into too much detail, before they were in foster care, the 3 of them, they lived with their birth mom.
Okay.
But the birth mom was a drug addict.
Uh-huh.
And so they would often be left alone, just the three of them.
Uh-huh.
And so she kind of had to take care of, as a 5 or 6-year-old, kind of had to take care of
The boys. Yeah. Yep.
And so she had a little bit of that.
Okay. Yep.
And, I think the bigger your family, the more independent you have to train your kids to be.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because in a single, like an only child,
yeah,
you can dote on them and still teach them independence and,
yeah,
do stuff with them, almost be their friend in a lot of ways,
yeah.
But with too many, or
once you get past 2, you're outnumbered. And if they can't figure out how to be somewhat independent and take care of themselves, good luck.
Well, and they're not going to survive in the world.
No, at all. No.
So,
yeah.
So anyway, there was tension between the boys and the girls at times. And the little one was rather stubborn. And, so he would annoy all 3 of them at times.
Yeah. That's his job.
Yeah.
And he knows it.
Yeah. And he was good at
it. I'm thinking of my 3rd son and I'm like, he is so good at that. He could be the sweetest, the absolute sweetest. And the next thing you know, they're screaming from the other room and he did something to one of those siblings.
He loved older people, seniors.
Oh, yeah.
And like my grandfather, my wife's grandmother, he would spend time with them. He would talk to them.
Yeah.
He would help them in and out of vehicles, whatever they needed. He would get stuff for them. I mean, he was great in that regard.
Yeah.
And so there was that was the sensitive side of him.
Yeah.
But he was fighting from day one because he was born at 26 or 28 weeks.
So he was preemie.
Very premature.
Yeah.
Was in the NICU for a long time. Yeah. And I want to say about 3 or 4 pounds.
Oh, yeah. He was a little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he was
a fighter.
Kind of little.
Yeah.
Till he became an adult.
Yeah. Yeah. So that first year is just a flash.
Yeah.
You guys are trying to figure out how to make everything work, survive, all that, incorporate.
Yeah.
What happens after?
Well, and then you got the whole education thing too,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what do I do here? Do I homeschool them because they're so far behind?
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about 6 years or 4 years or 3 years of your life having gone by, what did I miss?
Right.
Okay, so with the 6-year-old, it's kind of, she missed a lot of social cues.
Right.
She missed, she wasn't forced to really concentrate or know things, So she had academic
knowledge
lapses.
Oh, yeah.
Missing,
yeah.
She had a lot of that missing. The youngest hadn't had any chance to play with Legos or do things with his fingers.
Oh.
And so he had serious fine motor skill delays.
Right.
They all had various delays at various times with different things.
Yeah.
So we were constantly having to, it was almost like a scorecard,
Yeah.
Okay, so this person's behind in this, we need to do this for them.
Yep.
This one's behind in this, we need to do this for them, and so on and so forth. You can't just apply the regular course of an American life to them. And to top it off, their birth mom was white, but all of their birth fathers were black.
Okay. Yep.
And so they're all different shades of dark.
Yeah. The rainbow that your wife.
The rainbow that my wife exactly
saw.
Had a vision of.
Yeah.
And so, you're trying to, they're different in that regard.
Yep.
They're different with their delays.
Yep.
Our first thought was we can't just toss them into public school. That'll be a nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
So we did all of the above kind of thing.
Yeah, you had
to. We
to.
did homeschooling for a little while. We did private school for a little while.
Yeah.
And then when they were older, then they got into public school.
Yeah.
And, even to the point where they were adults, they were still behind on things.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and that makes sense. And my audience is going to go, we knew Brandon was going to talk about this. He talks about it every episode. First 7, 8 years of life, you're in a theta state, right? Mm-hmm. Your brain is functioning at a different length or energy than it normally does as you get older. And so you are a blank computer having
Mhm.
everything around you programmed onto you.
Mhm.
And so when you're at 6 and you only get until 7 or 8 for that programming to really take hold, you've already had a lack of or certain things programmed that
Right.
how do you work with that now?
Right.
And that's the case for all 3 of them.
Right.
That it doesn't surprise me that, like, okay, so let's assess where do we need to make up some ground here?
Oh, it was constant.
Yeah.
And it came at you from an unexpected area.
Yeah,
Um,
because it all interplays.
yeah, and there were patterns that we could follow. Like, for example, we knew that the youngest was going to have difficulty in the social setting of the classroom.
Yeah.
He was, if you left him alone by himself to read a book, and he was one of the fastest readers I ever saw.
Oh yeah.
But if you left him alone to read a book by himself, he was fine.
Yeah.
But if you tried to get him to do lessons, it's the same stuff we did yesterday. So
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and the oldest was very, very bright, and so she was constantly bored.
Oh yeah.
And the other two in the middle were somewhere in the middle.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the one had learning difficulties, and she had to have some training on how to get her synapses in her brain to fire properly.
Yeah.
And well, and on top of all that, if you think about it, I talked to another brain scientist who said, that amygdala area, that flight or fight, we learn in that first year of life how safe we are
Yeah.
and how safe we can expect to be through the rest of our life.
Yeah.
And they weren't in situations where they could necessarily feel safe.
Right.
So
So their
that's all
adrenals
there.
are shot. And that stress that we were talking about earlier with the nuclear war, they've always baseline is higher than it's going to be for most other people.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting. We read books, we had adoption support groups that we talked to other friends,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And we tried to do whatever we could, but most of it's on you,
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you just
And you bring the love.
do the best you can. Yeah. You try to love them, but at the same time, guide them towards some function in society.
Right. Well, and I think about that often. I'm raising my kids. I want them to be functional adults, critical thinking,
Mhm.
serve others.
Mhm.
Right. There's a couple things that if I can nail these, they're going to have their personalities. They're going to have their way of doing life. They're going to have all
Right.
these things. I want to be able to get these things out of them.
Right.
How do I encourage those things?
Right. I agree with that. And at the same time, we also wanted them to have some sort of faith,
Yeah. Yeah.
because we believed and still believe to this day that that's a better life.
Yes.
Not necessarily an easier life, but it's a better life,
Right.
And so I would say there's some there. I wouldn't say with which ones are, a particular way,
Yeah.
but I've seen some of it there. Less than I would like to see, but,
Yeah. And when you talk, is that with faith?
Yeah.
Yeah.
specifically with
Yeah.
faith.
Yeah. But you brought them up in an environment to foster it, to encourage it.
Yes. Although, again, here we are. We're bringing in kids that are kind of different
Yeah.
into the church. They didn't fit real well,
Oh yeah.
and so you'd get a lot of, why do you do that? Or, sometimes it wasn't even spoken or verbal.
Yeah.
It was just a way that you handled things,
Right.
We are all kind of the same. You're coming in and you're kind of different. We're
Uh-huh.
not sure if you fit here or not. And kids are always, their brain isn't wired completely yet. So,
Yeah.
so that was kind of a difficult juxtaposition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because on the one hand, you're trying to teach them personal faith, but on the other hand, these other people who claim to have that personal faith aren't necessarily welcoming them,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So,
That had to be tough.
yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
We certainly hadn't faced the racial stuff. That wasn't most of what they faced, I would say. Most of what they faced was probably social,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
They just were different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They had these delays and their skin was different and,
Right.
just various different things. I remember one time in high school, my oldest son, the third kid,
Mhm.
Dressed in a certain way, with an LA Dodgers cap and, baggy clothes and so forth.
Yeah.
And he and 4 other kids that were black in the school, basically all the kids that were black in the school got brought into the principal's office. We're not going to dress like gangs, And they hadn't even planned it together.
Yeah.
They enjoyed it because that's who they looked up to. And,
Of course.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
they got
Very
singled
interesting.
out.
So just those kinds of things
Yeah.
happened over. And, you constantly have to be ready to react.
Yeah.
On the one hand, you want to hold your kids to account to behave responsibly. But at the same time, you got to be ready to defend them too.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
Yeah. That would be.
it's not for the faint of heart.
No. Well, okay. And so how did you and your wife as a couple, your marriage, everything else, did that help reinforce? Was it trying? Was it?
Oh, it was trying at times, but for the most part, we were on the same page.
Yeah, that helps.
And we communicated a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Both on an ongoing basis,
Yeah.
We'd often shut the door to our bedroom, put a sign up, don't bother, knocking.
Yeah.
And so then we'd have time to talk things through, or we'd leave,
Yeah.
For a trip, and grandparents would stay with the kids or whatever.
Yeah.
So we talked a lot to each other, and generally speaking, we were on the same page.
Yeah.
We both had kind of the philosophy that if we didn't feel super urgently strong about something, we'd defer.
Yeah.
But if we did feel that way, then we'd explain.
Yeah. Yeah. That's well said.
Yeah, I think that's a good approach.
Yeah. That's a really good approach.
I think more couples would probably stay together these days if they communicated more often.
Yeah. I agree.
For what that's worth.
Communication is key.
Yeah.
And I like if it's not a strong thing, let's defer.
Yeah.
Otherwise, explain. Well, and that can go with everything that you just talked about, and including, especially, I'm always flabbergasted by, we're just going to single people out because they're wearing the baggy clothes, they're doing the thing.
Oh,
like I understand why stereotypes exist. I understand it.
Well,
but
it at its core, it's a good thing, and the reason is because we want to belong to each other.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
We want to group and we want to belong, and it's inherent in all of us. And I think that's where we were wired by God.
I do too.
But it can get corrupted.
Yes.
And if it gets corrupted, then you see this sort of thing.
Yeah. And that's
prejudice or discrimination or,
Well, and that's where, to me, content of character.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Martin Luther King.
Yeah. It's exactly that.
And that's the way that, especially I didn't know how well I raised my daughters. My wife was doing most of that, just because same gender.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I spent a lot of time with my boys.
Yeah.
Did a lot of things with them.
Yeah.
And that's what I tried to tell them. I said, try to be the kind of person that people will respect and that they're able to look beyond what you look like.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we adopted the kids, one of the questions they asked us in the interviews was, how are you going to teach these boys to be African Americans?
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't really answer that. I said, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach them to be Americans.
Yeah.
Good Americans.
Yeah.
I didn't really know much about how to teach them to be African American men.
Right.
And there were some things that they had to learn from others.
Yeah.
And I tried to expose them to African American men that I knew.
Yeah.
Their barber growing up was many years was African American.
Yeah.
He would talk to him,
Yeah.
He would do my older boy shave his head with like the Michael Jordan thing.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, there's a whole process we got to go through the first time we do this."
Yeah.
And
that's
then we
cool.
would take him to his church, sometimes, and
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, it was a challenge.
Yeah. Well, and I like that too. You were talking about hymnals early on.
Oh, yeah.
And growing up LDS, there's a hymnal. It's in every single LDS church. And I mean, there's some good stuff in there, but especially if it's like the sacramental song or something, it's usually pretty somber, obviously. Makes sense. But I've always been fascinated by every religion, and go over to my non-denominational friends' church, and much more lively. They've got a band there. They've got a drummer, which I'm feeling. But then I've always loved Black church.
Oh, yeah.
black churches, right? Because there is soul there,
Mhm.
right? There's movement and everybody's singing and they're having a good time. And you talk about worship,
Mhm.
right? And so I love that they actually asked that question in the adoption process. How are you going to teach them to be African American? Because they get to play in some really fun cultural stuff that me as a fuddy-duddy white guy, I joke I can keep a beat, I can't dance. Right? There's some things that, to your point, God made us this way for a reason. We all have different flavors, and each of the flavors is fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So, one of the characters, I like writing stories, and one of the characters in one of the stories that I wrote, and we can come back to this later.
Yeah, no, please.
But one of the characters in one of the stories that I wrote is a young African American man whose parents were of different colors.
Yeah.
And he says, they taught me how to be American. They didn't teach me how to be black. And he says, and then when I went to college, I learned a lot about what black young men face.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
and my older boy especially has faced some of that. DWB, are you familiar with that term?
No.
Driving while black.
Oh, yes.
Where you'll get pulled over in a small town just because you're black,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
And so they faced some of that. And I would tell them when they were younger, well, if it's not your skin color, they're going to pick something else to pick on you
Yeah.
about. You know, you can either make light of it and try to make a friend, you know, or you can get into it every time. You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that if I was you, but you know, you got to handle it somehow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. One of my really good friends, his best friend growing up was black,
Mhm.
and he ended up going to college down somewhere in the South. And when he graduated, my buddy flew down and they drove back.
oh yeah,
And he told me they'd switch on and off driving.
Mhm.
And if you were driving in certain areas, his buddy was getting pulled over every single time. And if you were driving in other areas, my white buddy was getting pulled
Mhm.
over every time.
Mhm.
And it's, that's the stuff that makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
You know, because again, it's the content of character and not what are we doing? They were going the speed limit or, you know,
Yeah.
I'm getting away with a couple over the speed limit. I don't know who is. Well, some people aren't.
right.
And then all of a sudden it's really confrontational, really fast. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's,
So my daughter's son, my grandson,
Uh-huh.
is 5.
Yeah.
And he's very dark.
okay. Yeah.
And I shouldn't say very dark. It's not like a African dark,
Right.
but he's
right.
very, very dark for an American African.
Yep.
African American, excuse me. And she said she's already started having the talk
Yeah.
with him. You
Yeah.
know, hey, you know, when you encounter a police officer, you know, you say yes, sir. You say no, sir.
Uh-huh.
You know,
The talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I had a little bit of that, but I wasn't aware of all I needed to.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I mean, and that's another thing with our access to the internet, right? Is you just end up getting to see so much more of what everybody has to face. And so it is way more top of mind and present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and because some of that has happened so much in the Black community,
Yeah.
sometimes they even prepare for it. They it's like they're ready for it or waiting for it to happen.
Right.
You know?
Well, and again, talk about there's just another level of stress
Yeah,
that gets
exactly.
added on. And
Mhm.
when you have that fight or flight activated that much,
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Right.
If you feel endangered, if you feel picked on, if you feel something, you can, I don't know. Fight seems like a pretty damn good one a lot of the time. And especially if it happens multiple times and you're just feeling picked on. Yeah.
Yeah. So my younger son was often confrontational.
Okay. Yeah.
The older one, not so much. He could deflect,
Yeah.
and he could be in just about any group.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And he probably had
kind of like
the
dad.
more typical. He looked a lot like Will Smith,
Okay.
kinky African hair and
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so, anyway,
So you got him through school.
Mhm.
Let's see here. I know we're bouncing around all the different areas of life.
Yeah.
But so you've got a grandbaby. You got, do your kids still live in the area?
well, all 4 of my kids struggled with addictions to some degree in particular time.
Okay.
And so they all went through a time of that.
Yeah.
The oldest one, I don't know if she's still struggling with that. We haven't seen her much. She has kind of held us off.
Okay.
Recently, anyway.
Yeah.
Last few years.
Yeah.
The second one is my other daughter, and she's living in Vancouver, and she has 2 kids, and she's doing very well raising their 2 kids.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. We do spend some time with them. That's nice.
Yeah.
We lost my younger son when he was 26.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. That was a difficult thing. But
Was that because of addiction?
may have been a contributing factor.
Okay.
I think probably there was some mental illness in there as well, some depression and
Okay.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Plus if you make everything a confrontation, then it's just difficult to come back from that
Yeah.
and down from that.
Yeah.
So anyway, we have the 3 that are left.
Yeah.
The other one is normally here in Spokane.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He traveled for many years.
Oh, yeah.
Did a lot of working. Had a crew that he traveled around the country with, putting up these big tents,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
You got to see the country.
he did.
That's
Yeah,
fun.
They all got the traveling bug from us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We did a lot of traveling. In fact, it was about 2 years ago. I went to my 50th state.
Oh,
So
cool. You've seen them all.
I've seen them all.
Hey, you get a prize for that, don't you?
I don't know. I've been looking around.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any.
Yeah. Should get something. Should get like a bond from the government or something. Here, here's your prize.
Yeah.
$50
Well, they
bond.
could do,
Yeah.
a little passbook like they did when we were kids at the fair.
Yeah.
You take it to each station and get a stamp.
Yeah. That'd be good. Yeah. Who do you need to see in each state to get
Yeah.
the stamp on there? I'm devastated and so sorry about your son.
Thanks. That was a hard time.
Yeah. Well, especially because our youngest son had cancer when he was 1.5 years. And that was the first time where I thought, oh, I don't just like automatically, and I knew this, but like when you're faced with it, I don't automatically get to like outlive my
Right.
kids. I don't get to automatically watch them grow up, become men, women, have families. That doesn't just come automatic. You might not even make it past 2.
Right. And some of it's not in your control.
Yeah.
And when they get to be adults, most of it is not in your control.
Right. Again, with my brothers having gone through their addictions and having times where I went a year or 2 without talking to my dad. So,
Mhm.
right, the distance thing, I get that piece.
Mhm.
And just going that I would hate getting that call of, yeah, your brother's dead. Yeah, you never get to experience that person anymore.
Yeah. It's some good things came out of it, if you can say it that way. I'm not sure, but he was an organ donor.
Okay.
And so I think, I want to say 7 people benefited
Oh, yeah.
from his organs.
You brought life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all are now,
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
yeah.
But and then I was able to develop a real close friendship. We went to a grief recovery type of group,
Yeah.
and I got to talk to the guy who was leading it, and come to find out that he knew my grandparents and there's all that
yeah.
kind of stuff,
Yeah.
small world. But we have a good friendship now. We get together pretty regularly. And,
That's great.
But yeah, That's not an easy thing to go
No,
through.
no.
Um, and the grief will hit you,
Yeah.
you know, just all of a sudden,
Yeah.
out of the blue, when you're not expecting it, and you find yourself crying and you're thinking, what I was just doing wasn't that sad. Why am I crying? And you kind of in the back of your head, you know that some of it is their grief
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah. I think those are beautiful moments, though.
It can be.
I had one of those a couple weeks ago where I was just sobbing, but it kind of, for me, goes back to that. I'm terribly sad, and I'm feeling down because I missed this person, but I have joy because I got to experience that person.
Yeah.
So maybe bittersweet's the best way to describe those moments.
That's a good way to put it. When I'm around other people that knew him, we'll often get to talking about things that he did.
Yeah.
And usually you're trying kind of a humorous thing,
Yeah.
Tends to make people lighten up and,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So everybody kind of knows that. And, that's kind of how you do it.
Yeah.
And my brother and I, especially, we're real close to him and we're close to each other. And so we can talk about him in that way.
Yeah.
And then later, like you said, you'll be by yourself and, you just get overwhelmed emotionally.
Get overwhelmed. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Did your brother have kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has 2 girls.
2 girls. Okay.
Yeah.
Did your kids and his kids?
Yeah. They've spent some time together.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We weren't always in the same city at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
And even in Clark County, there's quite a distance.
Oh yeah.
From the southeast to the northwest is an hour and a half drive.
Yeah.
So
some good time there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We just saw my aunt and uncle and a couple of my cousins, and like, man, I wish I had gotten more. It's all coming back to family for me. I wish I'd gotten more time with them, but
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I've spent more time with my own family in the last few years when I travel. On my dad's side, mostly because I knew my mom's side pretty well.
Yeah.
We were mostly in this area.
Yeah. Where was your dad's family at?
Yeah, they're from Kentucky originally.
Ah, okay. All right.
And then most of them did that hillbilly pipeline that goes from Kentucky to Ohio.
Yeah.
Did you read J.D. Vance's book?
No, it's on my list.
It's just a picture of my dad's family. I mean, I'm serious.
That's so good. Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
So let's see. When he was in high school or maybe even junior high in Kentucky, his dad started working up north because that's where all the industry was.
Right. Yep. You got to go where the work is.
In the hills.
Yeah.
Yep. And they were really hillbillies from the eastern side of Kentucky.
Yeah.
Where the coal miners are.
Yeah.
And so his dad, my grandpa, started working up there, up north. And he'd be gone for 6 months and come home.
Uh-huh.
He'd be gone for 6 months and then come home.
I always thought that'd be really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. And ironically, those kids are about a year apart, each one.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder how
all 8 of them.
Yeah.
So she had 9, and one was stillborn, or died young. Anyway, and so I still have aunts that are alive.
Okay.
And one uncle.
Okay.
And
of the 8.
Of the 8.
Yes. Yep. And then cousins off of that
His
are
mom,
spread out.
Now, his dad died about the time I was born.
Oh.
Then all the years from there until she died at 98, she was by herself and loved it.
She was used to it. she knew what it meant to be alone.
I would go and visit her in Ohio.
Yeah.
And she had this little tiny apartment, little 700 square feet or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then, I'd sleep on the couch for a few days, and then she'd say, "Okay, time to go."
Get out. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, and so was that part of, because it sounds like you've always loved traveling. Is that you did it for work? Did it to visit family?
When we were kids, we did it for family. We would take trips across the country to see them.
Yeah.
By then they had spread out, and they were in Ohio, but some of them were down in Florida, and now most of them are down in Florida.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. With your having gone to all 50 states.
Yeah.
Which ones would you love to travel to again? And which ones are you like, I checked it off, but I ain't going back?
I may not go back to North Dakota.
Okay. All right.
Even though one of the things that I saw there that was really cool was the largest buffalo herd in the country.
Oh, that would be cool.
The guy who was taking us stopped. It was a bus, and he stopped the bus and said, if you want to get out, this is the largest buffalo herd in the country. It's over 1 million head of buffalo.
No way.
Or bison, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they just used to be all over this country, and now they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of those pictures are wild of buffalo skulls just, oh, man.
In fact, if you ever go to the National Bison Range, which is western Montana, just north of Missoula, they have a stack there of
horns. Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, I did not know that. I'm adding that to the list.
Add it to the bucket list.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe not North Dakota again.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Maybe not. You've seen the buffalo, and beyond that, it's cold.
You know, I like different things. I like different people. I like different places.
Yeah.
I can appreciate them for what they are.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily want to live in all those places, you know.
Yeah.
But I can appreciate them for what they are.
Yeah.
You know? I went in May 2 years ago, took the inside passage up to Alaska, which was my 50th state.
Oh, yeah.
Got off in Skagway and then drove over the pass down into Canada in late May. That pass had 12 or 15 feet of snow.
Oh, yeah, it did.
You know? And
but it was probably so pretty.
It was beautiful, but it never melts year round.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's what you get.
I wouldn't want to live there.
No. Fun to visit. Fun to see.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and the people.
Yeah.
The people,
and
the
I really enjoyed the Canadians in the Yukon province.
Oh.
They were, I would talk to them and
yeah.
It's just a fun lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of native people there too, which is really cool.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. So, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has most of it been domestic, or have you gone international?
No, I haven't gone internationally other than Canada.
Really?
Well, in the Bahamas, because we went on a cruise.
Bahamas is great. I did a Bahama cruise. No, was that a cruise? No, it wasn't a cruise.
No, see, so here's the deal. My dad loved traveling.
Yeah.
And so he would take us on these cross-country trips to see his family.
Yeah.
Right? And then he would sometimes take them by himself
as
well. And so we got just kind of in the vein of it. You know? Got into my blood.
Yeah.
And even my brother and I will take road trips together, you know.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then when I got older and had kids, then I introduced them to it.
Yeah.
And we did this one big Western swing when, I don't know, oldest was maybe 14 or 15, through Western states, like 14 states in 16 hours or 16 days or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, it was really something.
That's a blast.
Yeah.
Well, there's this, I get the sense that you love this country.
Yeah.
You said, right, with your kids, going to raise them to be American.
Right.
You get to see all 50 states.
Yeah.
I don't think you can really appreciate living in this country without seeing this country.
Oh, I think you can kind of have an idea that you appreciate
Yes.
it.
Yes.
I'm a patriot. Yeah, I might even shed a tear at Star Spangled Banner, you know.
Yeah.
But I think in order to appreciate the diversity of it.
Yes.
And it is a very diverse country.
Yes.
I mean, I would say for its size, it's more diverse than any country. Because you know, you're talking about countries like India, China, Brazil, you know, that are about the same size as the U.S.
Yeah.
None of them have our diversity.
No, not at all.
You know?
No. You want a flavor? We got it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want a way of doing things or thinking, you know? I mean...
Well,
and you and I live, you know, within quick driving distance of places like Ruby Ridge, you know,
right,
where you've got, you know, white nationals, you know, and, you know, I drove down to Louisiana, and I'd never been so many honeyed and babied and, you know, everything from all the black women down there.
That's so good. Oh, I love it.
It was amazing.
Well, and like, I love, you know, whenever I see a headline where I'm like, that is, somebody just ate somebody's face. Oh, well, that's Florida. Right. Or you get the Northeast, I spent some time in New Jersey, and New Jersey is different than Maine, than is Pennsylvania, and that's the Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go down to Arizona, and I've spent a fair amount, I don't know if fair amount's the right word, but time in Phoenix and Scottsdale, even those two spots.
Mm-hmm.
Or you go down to San Diego, you go to Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
you go to Sacramento, you go to, each state has so many different flavors in it.
Absolutely.
And then you go, we got 50 of these with all these different variations within.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yep.
It
really is. I have really enjoyed it. So, I took my kids on stuff and I would go by myself. And, but there's something that you may or may not know, that has driven me to a lot of the places I've traveled to.
Oh, tell me.
And that is that I photograph lighthouses.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me more about that. Cause I love my grandmother collected all things lighthouses.
2008, and we went to New England to see the fall colors.
Yeah.
And they were beautiful.
I was going to say just a rainbow of.
Yeah. And we drove to a lot of different places, and I had a new camera, and I thought, well, what can I take pictures of,
Yeah.
And so it occurred to me, well, there's lighthouses out there. Let's try that.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of fell in love with the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
So then the next year I went to Michigan, and they have more than any other state.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, for the Great Lakes.
Oh, I would have put it on one of the coasts.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It is. Maine has a lot, but Michigan has the most.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they touch either 3 or 4 of the lakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michigan,
so it totally
Superior,
makes sense
Huron,
that they would.
Erie. Yeah.
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 Oh, why did that click at me? Well, that's weird. That's still working. That's still working. We're still good. I don't know what that click was. We still have a camera. Okay, we're going.
All right.
Sorry, folks. Weird technical difficulty. So how many have you photographed at this point?
Pretty close to 350.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And you have to publish that. You have to sell the art. You have to, what do you do with it?
Yeah. So I have a website, and the art from a lot of them is on there. And then I make up calendars every year.
Oh, you do? What's the website?
Lightreflectionsphotography.com.
Lightreflectionsphotography.com.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. I'm going to include that link on the episode description.
Sure.
And you do calendars.
Yeah. Do calendars and give them away to clients and friends.
Oh, I love that. Do you sell
most years?
Yeah, most years.
Yeah.
I
don't usually sell them. I just give them away.
You just give them away.
Yeah.
Do you have how many are in the country? Do you know?
So in the US, there's about 600 left, and Canada, there's about 400 left.
Okay.
Okay. So about 1,000 in those two countries.
Yep.
And the reason I say it that way is because I've been to a bunch of them in Canada, in addition to the ones that I've been into in the United States.
Yeah.
I've been to all 50 states, but in addition to that, there's a bunch in Canada that I have photographed.
Right. Yeah.
So,
what do you enjoy about it so much?
That's a good question. I get a feeling of accomplishment from having gone to them and taken their picture.
Yeah.
In addition to that, I'm fascinated by the architecture because some of them are so different than others.
Oh, yeah.
If you were to spend time in Washington in the lighthouses, a lot of them are the same.
Okay.
They're built by the Coast Guard. They're white buildings with red roofs.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It's stereotype. I'm sure you've seen it.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
In fact, some of them are duplicates.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Each other.
Carbon copy.
Point Robinson and Lime Kiln, I believe, are duplicates.
Okay.
Anyway, so they're pretty much all the same.
Right.
There's a couple that are further south along the Columbia River and on the southern part of the Washington coast of the Pacific that are a little different. But most of them are Coast Guard lighthouses.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you go back east, they're every stripe and color imaginable.
Yeah.
Okay? Especially in the Great Lakes.
Okay.
In the Great Lakes, you'll have a huge tall tower
Yep.
next to a house with a little lighthouse on top. You'll have, within 20 miles, you'll have just a radical.
Different. Yeah. That's so neat.
And there's a lot of reasons for that. The Coast Guard was involved in putting up most of the West Coast lighthouses But the Coast Guard wasn't really much of a thing
Right.
back then.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of think in terms of ages or eras.
Of course.
Eras of lighthouses being built on the West Coast were the late 1800s.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Or early 1900s.
Right.
Lighthouses built on the East Coast were
1600s?
late 1700s, early
Yeah.
1800s.
Yeah.
And then on into the Midwest, where you have the Great Lakes.
Right.
So
they've got stories.
I have a
and
million
character.
stories.
Oh, yeah.
From taking the pictures.
So along with the pictures, when you're updating your website, putting new stuff on, do you give a little anything about the lighthouses themselves?
Not as often as I should.
Okay. But I mean, because people can look those up and find information.
Well, and there's another lighthouse that I rely. There's another lighthouse website that I rely on called lighthousefriends.com.
Okay. Yep.
And he has been to every lighthouse in the U.S. and Canada.
Oh, cool.
And he's written something about each one. So he shows their history, who the keepers were.
Yeah.
Why things went the way they did. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
That's so. Have you met him?
I haven't met him in person.
Okay. All right.
We came really close. We were both going to be in Portland at the same time.
Yeah.
And we tried to get together for lunch and just didn't work out.
Oh, no. That sounds like a meeting that needs
He's in
to happen.
California.
Okay.
He now works for Apple. He was allowed to keep the website up, but he can't update it. Working for them.
Oh.
So I can't have another business related to IT in any way.
Whatever.
I know.
That's a bunch of malarkey.
So anyway, we've talked and I've sent him calendars and, he's included a couple of my pictures on his website.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I love that.
So,
okay. So then there's so many questions here.
I know. Sorry.
What are your favorite ones that you visited and why?
It's like trying to choose your favorite kids.
Yeah.
Or your favorite baseball player.
Right. Yeah. There's so many to choose from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
But so down in the Southeast, because of the hurricanes,
Yeah.
they have really tall towers.
Okay. Yeah.
That's mostly the kind of lighthouses down there.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Places like Cape Hatteras and Caratuck Beach and St. Augustine.
Yeah.
Those kind of,
Yeah.
most of them are all just really tall towers.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy those because to me, they're kind of a classic.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know. That's a classic look. You got a little building down here and a tall light.
Yeah.
And a tall tower.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to see one of those in Oregon, the Yaquina Head Lighthouse just north of Lincoln City is a tall tower.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Yep.
all
Yep.
the others in Washington, Oregon, and mostly California are not tall towers.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Okay,
I enjoyed those.
Yeah.
Of course, the first one that I went to was the Portland Head Lighthouse in Portland, Maine, which is the oldest lighthouse in the U.S.
Oh.
And if you go into Red Lobster, they have 5 lighthouses.
Yeah.
And the one of them that's on their salt shaker is the Portland Head Lighthouse.
Okay. So it'll be recognizable.
Yeah.
Well, and that has to be cool because when was that constructed? That had to be
Late 1700s.
Yeah.
It's been renovated since then.
Of course.
yeah.
Yeah. But I'm always just fascinated by the ingenuity and the necessity, right? And you got to make sure your ships ain't wrecking.
Right. Well, and
how
so
do we
if you
make
had
this
a lot
work?
of lighthouses together, they had to have different foghorns and different lights.
Oh.
Either they changed the color or they changed the frequency of the
Yeah.
light or whatever.
Okay. That makes, I didn't even think about
so-
that piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you had to know where you were.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, there's a lighthouse. Which one?
Which one? Yeah. That's a really good
Yeah.
point.
So if, for example, you go to the mouth of the Columbia,
Yeah.
you'll see that the Cape Disappointment Lighthouse, which is just inside the mouth of the Columbia on the Washington side, has a certain spinning light.
Yeah.
Right? And then if you go just around the corner to the North Head Lighthouse, then you'll see it has a different spinning light.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Where are we at? It's spinning that fast. I know where I'm at.
Well, and originally, if you think about it, there was no electricity.
Right.
So they were using some sort of oil.
Yeah.
A lot of times it was whale oil.
Yeah.
So they'd fill these cauldrons with whale oil.
Yeah.
And then they have these wicks. But they really still couldn't get much light out of it. And that's why the lenses on the lighthouse are so important.
Yeah.
Most of them have what's called a Fresnel lens.
Okay.
And Fresnel was the guy in France that designed them.
And
And also, if you ever heard of the Fresnel effect,
yeah.
it's a certain way of distributing something, whether it's light or sound or whatever. Could be electronic waves for radio or whatever. And it goes kind of out like this for a while, and then it opens up like this, and then it closes like this. And if you turn that sideways, that's the same shape of the lighthouse lens.
Oh, yeah.
They're all shaped that way.
Yep.
And there was like 4 or 5 generations of the Fresnel lens that were made in France and shipped over here. And before the Panama Canal was finished, they had to ship it all the way around Cape Horn or Tierra del Fuego in South America.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
This is the sort of stuff that I love because I mentioned my grandma used to, because they were in Portland and they'd always go to the coast.
Yeah.
And she'd always buy something lighthouse related. Her and my grandpa would go to the lighthouses. And they probably hit a couple in California and some in Washington, but I don't think they ever hit anything on the East Coast. And for her, there was also a religious aspect, right?
Sure. Yeah.
You can tie that into Christianity very easily.
Absolutely.
And she was a very devout woman. But I love getting to every people's things because there's so much that I don't know, and there's so much history, and there's so much richness, and just it's fascinating.
It is. It's really interesting.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah. I was in Minnesota, on the north shore of Minnesota, which, if you look at Minnesota, Wisconsin, when Wisconsin ends at Superior or wherever that is.
Yep.
Duluth, Superior, and then you can go north against the Lake Superior.
Uh-huh.
And there's about 7 lighthouses on what they call the north shore of Minnesota.
Okay.
The top one is the lighthouse that last heard from the Edmund Fitzgerald ship before it sank. Checked in there at that lighthouse.
Yeah.
Saw the lighthouse, checked in, right? And then at that point, it was never heard again.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's very interesting. When I was there, and here's one of my stories, they were actually, every year they hold a memorial for the Edmund Fitzgerald. And that when I was there, they were holding the memorial.
That's so cool. Okay, well, since we're on story, what are a couple other stories? Do you have other?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Absolutely. There's a lighthouse near Coos Bay, Oregon.
Okay, yeah.
It's called Cape Arago.
Okay.
Arago. And it's further out than the town.
Yeah.
So it's way out on the, and for basically all of my years of photography, you couldn't get to the lighthouse to take close-up pictures.
Okay.
You could get a distant view.
Yep.
About a mile down the road. So you'd run past the lighthouse, and you'd run about a mile down the road on the highway and turn around and take your pictures from there.
Okay.
It was only long shots.
I was going to say, that
you have
lens
to have a zoom lens, and all of that. So I had done that once already, but I wanted to get some more. And so I went down there on a Friday evening, and just as I was pulling in, the fog rolled in, and I couldn't get any pictures.
Oh.
So I'm like, what a waste,
no. Yeah.
Okay, well, sometimes fog rolls out in the morning, and so I'm going to stick around. So I got a hotel, and the next morning I went out again. And so when you would get to where the lighthouse area was, there was this road that at one point had been accessible. You could go to the lighthouse, right? And there's a locked gate there, right? Big, tall, wooden locked gate.
Yeah.
And it's always closed,
Yeah.
Well, I go driving down there and it's open.
Oh.
And I'm like, what's going on? And then these guys come with this car and they say, do you need a ride? And I'm like, a ride to what? The lighthouse? And apparently they were having a land transfer ceremony that morning to transfer the land from the Coast Guard back to the Siletz and other tribes down there.
Oh, cool.
So now I have to interrupt you and say, in the Bush administration, I think, they came up with the Lighthouse Protection Act.
Oh.
And what that did is that allowed groups that had some sort of connection to a lighthouse, either historical or social or, whatever it was, some sort of connection to the lighthouse, to petition the government and allow you to take care of the lighthouse.
Cool.
So you might have this lighthouse was in bad repair, or, hadn't been taken care of, or
Yeah.
it hadn't been kept up, or whatever, right?
Yep.
And so in the case of the Cape Arago Lighthouse, the Silettes and the other tribes in that area had said, that's right next to an ancient burial ground that we keep.
Yeah.
We'd like to have the entire thing.
Yeah, of
We'd
course.
like to have the ancient burial ground and the lighthouse and everything. And so they petitioned the government, and you have to do certain things. You have to maintain it. You have to, do all these things. You keep it up and looking good.
Yeah.
And they said, we'll do all that. And so that was the land transfer ceremony that morning. And
you didn't know.
I didn't know about it. and so I parked my car and walked in, and there was this big stage with all of these people from Coast Guard and Department of the Interior and, so on and so forth. And then the tribes, that were involved, and they were all speaking. And I just took pictures because I was there.
Yeah.
Took pictures.
And you had the right lens.
Yeah. And then I finally, for the only time, because since then they've closed the access again.
Yeah.
I got to walk to the edge and take pictures of that lighthouse.
Oh my gosh.
On that Saturday morning.
That's phenomenal.
And then I took some of the pictures and sent them to the guy who has the Lighthouse Trends.
Yeah.
And he posted them on his site.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I love those right place, right time stories.
Yep.
That's phenomenal.
It's really been a joyous thing.
Oh yeah.
To be able to enjoy that.
Yeah. Well, and you're capturing something that for posterity, right? I mean, it's going to be able to be enjoyed for forever.
Yeah.
And so you were just mentioning some of them that can fall into disrepair or just bad.
So, in addition to like tribes, for example, you can create a nonprofit that's like Friends of a Certain Lighthouse.
Yeah.
So I have a friend who has done engineering and commissioning, and he works with the Coast Guard a lot.
Yeah.
And so he was contacted by the Coast Guard and said, we're maintaining this we used to maintain this lighthouse. We were contacted by the people who have created the Friends of the Lighthouse, and they want somebody to go up there and do a walkthrough for them because they want to put sprinklers in the keeper's house.
Ah, okay.
And, modernize it a little bit.
Yeah.
Things. And so he said, well, tell you what, I've got a friend, and he's a lighthouse photographer. Why don't we trade services? I'll go up there and give you that free service of the consultation.
Yeah.
And you take us through and give us a tour. Because this lighthouse is just north of Squim.
Oh, yeah.
It's called the New Dungeness Lighthouse.
Okay.
It's out on this spit of land.
Yeah.
It's 5 miles to walk.
Okay.
It's the only way you can get to it.
Yep.
Yeah, unless you swim, I suppose.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Walking sounds good.
And you can only do it at low tide. Because at high tide, the spit is almost covered.
Oh, cool.
And there was all these boulders in the spit. But he had the ability to take his 4x4 at low tide. And so he took the four of us out there to the lighthouse, and we got to walk around and take pictures and learn the stories and go to the gift shop. And they have Friends of the New Dungeness Lighthouse.
Yeah.
And it's a nonprofit, and you can become a member.
Cool.
And if you're a member, you can be lighthouse keeper for a week.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So you go there and you stay and you sleep there.
Yeah.
And you have to run the gift shop for the week.
Yeah.
And
have you done it?
I haven't done it because it's not really my thing. My thing is taking the pictures.
Is the pictures? Yeah.
But it's the kind of thing that is helping to renovate and refurbish a lot of these lighthouses.
Yeah. Well, so you said there's 1,000 roughly in the continental.
North
America.
Yeah. Not including Mexico.
No. Oh, right. Oh, that's a whole
There's
other
a lot
thing.
in Mexico.
Oh, that makes sense. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
I was thinking U.S. and Canada. There's Mexico to the south. Do you have a goal to see some of those?
In Mexico?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
We go down to Phoenix quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it's about a 4-hour drive from there to the closest one, which is on the inland part of the Sea of California.
Yeah.
All the way up to the top, which is like, just a little bit from Arizona.
Yeah.
So there's one right there. And I've got my eyes set on it.
On checking that one out. Well, okay. And so I was going somewhere, but I'm gonna redirect myself. Which ones haven't you seen that are on, like, what are the 5 that you got to see these ones?
I'm not sure that I could say it by name of lighthouse, but I'll say it by area.
Yeah. Yep.
And the reason is because I'll plot out a week's worth of lighthouses.
Right.
I'll say, okay. So for example, when I did Lake Erie, I started in Cleveland, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
And went all the way around the lake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Ohio, Michigan, Ontario, and a little bit in New York and Pennsylvania, and back to Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay. There's about 40 lighthouses on that trip.
That's
Takes
cool.
about a week. Okay?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I have about 5 of those left
Okay.
in the U.S.
Okay. Yep.
And then there's some that I may want to see in Canada as well. For example, if you start south of Montreal,
Yeah.
and you go up the St. Lawrence River, there are lighthouses along the St. Lawrence. And that was to help the ships that were coming in and out, know where they were in relation to everything. So there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
In that same area in North New York and Vermont, there are lakes that have lighthouses.
Yeah.
Up the St. Lawrence and then over into the Maritime provinces. There's a ton on Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Maine itself, we only got 2 lighthouses in Maine because I didn't know what I was doing back then.
Oh, yeah.
And I haven't been back since.
Yeah.
And there's like 80 lighthouses.
I was going to say there's a ton over
Yeah.
there. Yeah. That's so cool.
Now, some of them you can't get to by car. You either have to get to them by boat, or some of them by air. You can't even get to them by boat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
Because they might be up on a huge cliff on an island.
Yeah.
So-
Have fun being keeper up there.
Yeah. Well, some of them don't have keepers.
Oh, yeah. So of the 1,000, how many are active?
Most of them are still active.
Are they?
They're
Yeah.
not manned.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Except for 1 or 2, I think.
Okay. Well, that's
I mean, if they're manned, it's probably at the gift shop.
right. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody. Yeah.
But they're all automated.
Automated.
Now. Yeah.
Ah, that's neat.
A lot of them still use their Fresnel lens.
Yeah.
But some of them have gone to the LED,
Yeah.
shine.
Have to change that light out a little bit less.
And they have different things. Like, for example, some of them have red glass instead of just clear because they want to distinguish themselves.
Yeah.
Some of them have green glass.
Yeah.
Cool. Some of them spin faster. Some of them spin a little slower. Yeah.
That's so cool.
And then a lot of them still have their foghorns, but they
yeah.
rarely use those.
Yeah.
Everybody uses GPS now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
it
really is mostly for sentimental value.
Yes.
Historical reference.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I like that they keep that. One of my guests, it might have been the last guest. His name's Poncho. He did over 50,000 miles on the Pacific sailing.
Oh, wow.
And so he was talking about when he first started, he was having to use a sextant and some other stuff, right? Because they didn't have GPS. And he was down in California, and when he would go out to Hawaii, first 7 days of his first trip, when he was first navigator, they had fog. He couldn't see the stars. He couldn't navigate anything. Right. So he's trying to calculate, and with the current and everything else,
the current and the compass.
Yeah. It's wild. And I'm just thinking, man, talk about somebody that would have really appreciated, seeing a lighthouse.
Yeah.
Like just how much hope that would have given of, hey, I did this right. And so I love that connection.
In Hawaii are so new that there's only one that is really a building. The others are what they call minor lights, which is just a little stand with a light on it.
That's cheating.
Well, like I said, they're so new,
right?
Because the West Coast, at least, we still had a lot of use of that.
Totally.
But by the time we got, a lot of trade in Hawaii, it was
it was
different.
Gone. Well, and what is the newest lighthouse constructed? Like, and not one of those minor lights. Have there been any?
I'm not sure if the one in Hawaii, the Kilauea Lighthouse in Hawaii, might be.
Okay.
If not, then it's one of the ones on the West Coast.
Okay. But I mean, at this point, those would, I would assume, be decades.
Yeah. Now, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the one at Port Townsend, for example, the Point Wilson Lighthouse is 1913, I think.
Oh, so we haven't been building them for a while, really.
Right.
That's too bad.
Some of them have been renovated since then.
Yeah.
But new ones, yeah.
I mean, yeah, and to your point, everybody's just using GPS.
Early to mid 1900s, I would say.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. And there's some that are crumbling. There's some that are not going to be able to be renovated.
Yeah.
I went to South Carolina, and there's a lighthouse in the middle of a river down there. And a beautiful lighthouse, but it's just crumbling. All the bricks are falling from the bottom.
Yeah.
I got a good picture of it. But a few years, it'll be crumbled.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh no.
Sometimes you'll see the general, was it GAS or GSA, that the U.S. government sells property,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and you'll
Yeah.
see a lighthouse for sale
Oh
occasionally.
yeah.
You have to move it, but yeah.
Oh, you have to move it?
Yeah, you
Oh,
have to-
because they want
you
it
have
off
to
their
plan on
land.
moving it.
How the heck are you moving one of those suckers?
Same way they did the London Bridge. Take it apart brick by brick, label each brick,
Oh.
and then put it back together.
Oh, you got to have a lot of money and a lot of time.
Yeah. Now, if you want to see a bunch of little, they look like lighthouses, but they're smaller scale.
Yeah.
The people at Lake Havasu, speaking of the London Bridge,
Yeah.
when you go down there, you see the London Bridge.
Yeah.
There's a little English town.
Yeah.
And then also there's replicas of famous lighthouses throughout the U.S.
Oh, cool.
On the west side of the lake are the ones that are from the west coast.
Yeah.
On the east side of the lake are the ones from the east coast.
Ah, that's
and
cool.
There's probably 10 or 15.
Okay.
And they look like the others. They're
There's
just like 8 feet instead of 80.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Taking a trip to Lake Havasu.
Lake Havasu. Yeah,
Yeah. That's fun.
it is.
Oh, I love it. Among other, okay, wait, before we leave, I don't want to leave anything on the lighthouses that you wanted to talk about on the lighthouses, because there's so much here. It's rich and amazing.
Well, yeah, it is. We could talk for hours on this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I will say that now that so many people know that I do this,
Yeah.
they send me pictures from all over the world when they encounter a lighthouse.
Oh, that's fun.
So I have pictures of lighthouses from Iceland,
Yeah.
from the Bahamas, from Italy, Ireland, just all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thailand.
Well, and wasn't the lighthouse was that at Alexandria? That was one of the 7 wonders.
Yes.
And I mean, we don't even have bricks of that anymore, do we?
Mm-mm.
No, that's been gone for.
But I think there's a replica now or something there that commemorates it.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I've always thought, man, if I could go back and get anything back, whatever text was in the library at Alexandria.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Think of the things that have been destroyed over political ideology.
Yeah. It's terrible. How much further along could we be, or what direction would we have gone differently?
Yeah,
It's kind of fascinating.
it is.
So then again, because of the international travel, are there any that you like? Is there a bucket list? I'm getting on a plane and I'm going to Ireland, or something.
You mean 4 lighthouses
Yeah.
specifically?
Yeah.
Well, I've had my eye on Puerto Rico. That's one of the 5 trips
Oh
that
yeah.
I told you I had left.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so Puerto Rico has about 10 or 12,
Oh, cool.
and it's not a big island.
Yeah.
So you drive around the outside, and
Yeah, you'll have that. Spend a week down there and
Yeah.
you'll knock those out.
yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So there's
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Most of them are in the U.S., but I wouldn't object to going. My wife would like to travel in Europe, for example.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm sure there's some cool ones over there.
yeah, there are. I've seen them from people.
From
that send them to me.
people sending the photos. Yeah. Yeah.
And some of them are kind of weird. I mean, the ones in Mexico are quirky.
Are they?
Yeah.
In what way?
Typically, the lighthouse isn't the thing.
Okay.
It's typically like an administrative building, and let's have a lighthouse too.
Right. Yeah.
So
Oh, so
you
that's
see a lot of that kind of
a
thing.
lot
in
of that.
Mexico.
Got it. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, but some of them are pretty, especially on the Pacific coast.
Yeah. Well, and just the different building material. I can't remember where my buddy was at, but he's a mason, and he took all these pictures and he goes, look at all the like seashells and everything else that they used in the mortar for
Yeah.
this, or that's naturally in the rock or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it gives a different character.
Yeah.
You get your building material locally, you're going to get something really cool out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So I haven't plotted out any international ones.
Okay. All right. But you get some good pictures, and
Yeah.
maybe one of these days.
And I'll try to get to the rest of the ones that I want to see in the U.S.
Yeah.
I know I will not get to all of them.
Yeah.
There are some that I won't go on boat to get to.
Yeah.
There's some that I won't go on plane to get
Yeah.
to.
No, thank you.
But I have chartered boats a few times
Okay.
to get out to some lighthouses.
Yeah.
That's the only way you could get to them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's neat.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's so fun. What a fun hobby. What a fun love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And my wife will go with me sometimes on my trips.
Okay.
Sometimes I go by myself.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I'm sure they're fun either way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She has different interests than I do. So, like, for example, when we went to Charleston, she wants to go see all the history. And
oh, yeah.
there's like three lighthouses in that area.
Yeah.
But we spent a week there.
Yeah. Gave you time to do both. You can go off and
do the open markets and all of the architecture.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now I can't remember what I was going to ask you after the lighthouses because I'm visualizing all these lighthouses and I can't wait to visit your
San
website.
Francisco Bay Area, for example, there's 7 or 9 of them just in that area.
Oh yeah.
I was about to hire a boat, didn't work out, but I was about to hire a boat to take me to all of them.
Yeah. Well, and shoot, the currents around there are just treacherous.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Yeah. So but speaking of need for lighthouses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stay out of here and watch out. You got to know where you're at because holy
yeah,
cows.
there's one that sticks out into the Golden Gate past the bridge.
Yeah.
In the Marin Headlands, Point Bonita, it's called.
Oh.
And it's pretty. I haven't been through the tunnel and get out to it.
Yeah.
But I've taken it from the opposite side of the bay.
Yeah. I cannot wait to look at your website. Those photos just have to be amazing.
And I'll have to make sure you get a calendar.
Yeah, I would love a calendar. A calendar would be fantastic. I love it. So how do you end up, because you are running your business again?
Yeah.
Do you run into issues with scheduling or anything? Because
no, not really.
No.
I had gotten the Vancouver area business to the point where it could pretty much run itself.
Yeah.
I could travel.
Yeah.
Now, being as old as I am, I'm semi-retired, semi-businessman, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I can usually tell the clients I'm going to be gone for a week.
Yeah. Well, and what I know this is getting technical, but do you do a fair amount remotely, or is some of it?
Some, but honestly, in our kind of push for the best customer service we can have, we do a lot of it on site.
Be on site. My work, we just moved my office, and this morning our IT team was supposed to be out there, and they were, but I got in there. I had taken all my cords, my computer, my phone line, my everything, and I just had it set and ready to go. So I got there, and in about 20 minutes, I had my monitors screwed in and up on their new, swivel arms, and had everything connected. And he comes in, he goes, "What do you need me to do?" I go, "Make sure I'm connected to the printer. Beyond that, I'm up and running. I'm good to go." But one of my peers, he had done the same. He had brought all of his stuff, and he's like, "I have no idea what I'm doing."
Yeah.
It's a good thing that IT's here, because
and that's the same with our business. Our clients, we have a wide variety. Some of them want us to do everything for them, hold their hand.
Yeah.
While we do it.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, we get somebody who just wants a piece of advice here and there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's fine.
Well, and what a fun mix. I like having a mix of that with my customers. I think if I was hand holding all the time, I'd go a little crazy. Mm-hmm. And if everybody knew everything and didn't need me, that wouldn't be good either.
Yeah, exactly.
I need a mix. You and I met at Chamber, and we had this conversation a little bit, but I'm fascinated. Microsoft just released a top 40 industries that are in danger because of AI, and top 40 that are probably a little bit safer. Where you've been playing around on the tech side since the early 80s. Where does everything go?
What were they saying about the industries that would, and why?
So a lot of it was like, so sales representatives were in danger, and then they had a number of people that would be impacted, and that was millions.
Right, because there's always domino effect.
Right. And I mean, almost anything and everything that was on the danger side was either sales related or something like, I think they may even had like CPAs on there, attorneys, some of the stuff where if you can, they're collecting data, interpreting it, and spitting it back out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's to me, that's what that really comes down to on the positions that are in danger.
So that when there are changes in technology, and I don't care if it's technology of the 21st century, the 20th, the 19th, the 18th, whatever.
Yeah.
There's always winners and losers.
Of course, every time.
And it's not necessarily always the people you think it's going to be.
Right.
For example, if AI starts replacing sales representatives,
Yep.
there will be a time which some people just want the old way of doing things.
Of course.
Okay. So the ones that have replaced their sales representatives with AI, they're not going to get that business.
Right.
Granted, it's a smaller amount of business, but it's fairly focused.
Of course.
And you may get great business for 10, 20, 40 years, you know.
Right.
On the other hand, when they do go to that point, it probably will be with regard to things that are easy enough to be educated about, because people don't want to be deeply educated about everything.
Right.
And so we'll probably still have car salespeople for a while.
Right.
Because it's complicated enough.
Yep.
There's enough variables to consider.
Right.
You know, that you may not want to use AI for that.
Right. And you
not that AI couldn't handle the variables per se.
Right.
But it's just that the people that are buying the car don't necessarily want to be educated about all that.
Right.
So unless your AI is going to educate you,
yeah,
then, you know, you really want to be able to just ask the questions you want.
Right.
You know, and again, maybe AI can do that.
Right.
But
well, so when I think about banking,
yeah,
right, my loan analyst, I'm collecting loan documents. I give it to them. They input everything into the computer. They run spreads. They get it back over to me. They probably help me write up the credit presentation, which means they're searching the business owner's website. They're taking the emails of the information that I've given them and they're spitting them back out on this 20-page document. And then we present and get an approval or a disapproval, right? That position's gone. That position I can see getting replaced really fast.
Yeah.
When I saw sales representative, I thought, we're social creatures, right? This is what we value is us being able to connect as individuals. And, you know, I'm not doing the same thing as just collecting. Yeah, I might be finding out about the business owner and what the business does and everything else. The fact finding, absolutely. But there's rapport building and people fundamentally want to be seen and heard.
Yeah.
And so whether it's car buying, because you can go to Carvana or whatever what's
CarMax, whatever.
CarMax, yeah, and you can go and never deal with a salesman.
Right.
And if there's an industry that is, do you really want to deal with the car salesman? Right? Like that's the industry. But at the same time, there's something about I want to test drive, and maybe you do get a good salesman, and there's something about that back and forth that some people really like, but there's other people that never want to deal with it. And having just, what's my proclivities? You AI, you already know who I am, what I do for a living. You already have me profiled. Give me the top 5 cars that are going to fit what I need. Give me the best price on them. When can I pick it up? Right? There is definitely that factor.
No question.
That's going to take over.
Yeah. In fact, there's
the people,
a lot of those things that will take over.
Yeah.
So if we can go back to probably one of the most recent examples of technology changing culture on a big scale, we would have to talk about Amazon. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So it used to be you went into a store, you tried on things.
Yeah.
You know, if you wanted a book, you got a recommendation from somebody, you either went to the library or you bought the book, or, you know, and I mean, all of this was brick and mortar.
Yeah.
You know, retail. Amazon convinced us over the last 20 or so years that we could do all of that without having to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so
they made it real damn convenient.
Well, and so they actually ended up changing the culture the way that they wanted to change it by using, in effect, AI.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, so I think that's where you really see the big differences.
Yeah.
You know, when a process gets changed by somebody or a group of groups, you know, that end up changing the culture.
Right. Well, and especially because you met your wife at Sears.
Yeah.
Right.
There's 2 or 3 left.
And I couldn't have imagined a time when I was growing up that I wouldn't have seen, oh, there's a mall.
Mm-hmm.
Sears is in the mall
Mm-hmm.
every time. They're everywhere. It is Americana.
Yeah. The other day, JCPenney sold a bunch of their stores for multi-billion. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
And there's still going to be JCPenney stores, but they're probably the remaining,
Yeah.
you know, big nationwide.
Yeah.
Some Macy's to some degree, but, you know, places like Nordstrom, they shut down almost everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because how do you compete against the machine that is Amazon?
Well, and let's say you're talking specifically about clothing, where you used to go in and try it on. You order the one that you think is the closest.
Right.
You get it. You put it on. If it doesn't fit, you put it back in the package, or you don't even have to put it back in
Sometimes
the
they'll
package.
let you
You
just
just take
keep
it to
it.
the UPS store with your code.
Yeah.
You know, and then it goes back.
Yep.
And you get the next size up or
Yep.
down or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Well, and kind of adjunct to that, maybe, I don't know what the right way to say that is. Somebody was making the point that with the Industrial Revolution, we traded muscle for automation, right?
To some degree. Yeah.
And then I heard somebody say it with this, it's going to be, we're trading our minds for, again, it's automation, right?
So yeah, you've got to distinguish between two types of AI.
Yeah.
So artificial intelligence is basically what Turing envisioned, which is just a machine does what a human can do.
Right.
Okay. Whether it's the thinking part or the physical part or whatever.
Right.
Okay. A GI, artificial general intelligence, is teaching a computer to be like a human.
Yeah.
To think like a human, which is going to be almost impossible. And even when it gets to that point, I'm not sure it will be truly human,
Right.
in that sense. It can't do things like make a poor choice. It can't do things like an altruistic effort.
Right.
You know, it can't. Anyway, you get the idea.
Yeah.
So there are things in humanity that we learn from and that we just experience,
Right.
you know, that is never going to be able to be replicated.
Right. Exactly.
If you put it in another way, there's no soul there.
Right. There's no consciousness. There's no soul. There's, yeah. Well, and I can't remember the name of the podcast, but they had who they consider the godfather of AI.
Mhm.
I can't remember. Stevens might be his last name, something along those lines. And he was all sorts of terrified and, you know, what genie
Sure.
did I let out of the bottle and all that sort of thing. And then I had listened to another one with Eric Weinstein, and he's not a philosopher, he's a physicist.
Mhm.
And they both, you know, they brought up the chess, right? AI has been able to whoop us at chess for forever, right? Well, but that doesn't mean that chess players got replaced, because we still, as humans, but I think it was Eric. He said, you know, we've always been the apex predator. If you have this thing that can think way faster than us, or process is a better way of saying it.
Yep.
Process way faster than us, are we still the apex predator on this planet?
Right.
And so are there, what I'm getting to is, I guess my questions are, what are you most excited about watching this expand? It's faster than I think most people thought it was going to catch on. And what are you worried about?
So I guess what I'm fascinated about is the idea of not having any clue where it's going to show up and surprise me.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
I mean, I can think about some of them, like, for example, medical. You know, if you're in a rural area, you know, and they don't have a hospital, and you've got a fairly serious recurring issue, and you may not be serious enough to go to the hospital and stay there.
Yeah.
You know, what if there was an office where you could go in and lay down and be hooked up to a computer and have all of that information immediately available to somebody remotely in the hospital.
Yeah.
That's 500 miles away or whatever.
Right.
You know, and you could give them, you can give the AI the answers to your questions.
Yeah.
You know, and then the machines can be physically hooked up also and figure out, you know, diagnose your problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can think of that one. I can imagine that one. There's some I can't imagine, you know?
Yeah. Well, and the ones that I'm excited for, I think most is medical.
Yeah.
Because we've got so much data, so much stuff going on, but it's compartmentalized and you got HIPAA and you got everything. So I understand why stuff like that happens. And you got the pharmaceutical industry and you've got all this stuff and all the scientific journals with all the studies, but then there's politics behind that too. Can we just take all the data from, it could be a medical book from 1825 where they showed that chickweed was helpful for this thing. And it's, you know, some old wives thing that we haven't used in 100+ years, but still has validity.
Yeah.
Just because modern science doesn't say it works. Well, you've got all this stuff showing that it does. And we need, you know, to test that out and make sure. But can we take all of this information and you're a positive blood type and you got this, you know, this is your medical conditions and this is what you know about and this all, and let's take your heart, all that stuff, everything that you just said, walk into a clinic, hook yourself up and it's going to diagnose and it's going to take all this data.
Yeah. I don't see any problem with it.
It sounds like it's going to be brilliant. Like it's going to be revolutionary.
Now, might it put you more at ease if a doctor was standing there talking to you? Maybe. But maybe your kids or grandkids generation doesn't care.
Right. Because they won't even remember what that's like.
Right.
Yeah.
So you've got the displacement of what people do.
Yep.
And that's an aspect of things.
Yeah.
And that's a concern, obviously.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to figure things out on a societal level beyond the technology.
Right.
You know, what do we do about income? What do we do about, you know, fair trade? What do we do? You know, all these things.
Right. And that was one of the points that they both brought up is what do you do with all these displaced people?
Right.
So many people get a sense of self out of their careers.
Oh, absolutely.
And now it's gone.
Right.
And they don't have income. So the lost sense of self and lost income.
So our generations that are in the transition process, you know, 10 generations from now, it'll be no big deal.
Yeah.
But our generations that are in the process, you've got to deal with the displaced people.
Yeah.
You got to deal with the change in how things are done. You know, you got to deal with the acceptance. You got to deal with the backlash from technology. You know, you've got the new Luddites, you know, that don't want to have anything to do with technology.
Of course.
We'd all be better if we just lived on the land. And you know,
I don't think that's ever going away. You're always going to have.
You may be right.
Yeah.
Especially in America, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other concern I have is that the safeguards don't get put in place along the lines of what you were talking about. You know, who's the master, who's the apex predator, you know?
Yeah.
And it's notorious, and I don't care what century you're in, but it is notorious that political figures cannot keep up with technology.
Oh, it's,
you know?
Yep.
I mean, so the people that are leading and trying to put these safeguards in place, they don't have a clue. No.
And one of the senator, Congress, anyways, she was reading it. This is going to be great. This A1 is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I love it on my steak.
Yeah. That's AI there, lady. Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
Well, and maybe the printing press is a good example, right? Because it's access to information. And the more information there is, the more people in power should be fearful. I think so. They tend to suppress is, I think, the theme there.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. Look at some of the philosophical discussions that went on in the, let's say 15 to 1800s, maybe on into the 1900s.
Yeah.
Surrounding liberal democracies.
Right.
Okay. And so how do you do that? You know, how do you set it up so the people have a say and everybody's equal and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, we had everything from extreme Marxism all the way over here to, you know, capitalism with no boundaries.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And so you end up having situations where, well, if I go back to the philosophical point, there was all these discussions that were going on around this, and some of the people were in power, and they were worried about losing their power,
Always.
or they were worried about the effect it was going to have on culture in general.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to have everybody have a say in a pure democracy? Everybody votes on every single thing. Well, it might work for a small village,
Right.
but it's not going to work for 100 million people country,
Nope.
you know? Or do you have a representative democracy?
Right.
Do you have, you know, and how are those representatives appointed or chosen?
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
we've been trying to figure that process out since our inception.
So now take that and throw technology into it,
Uh-huh.
you know? And I don't know. It seems to me like it presents a scenario where the people that are the smartest or the most capable or the most innovative or maybe the most manipulative have advantage to be able to mold the future the way they want it to.
Right.
You know?
Well, did you catch
and some people are okay with that in the sense that they just want to be left alone.
Yes. Right.
I want to mold the future of my thing in such a way that everybody else leaves me alone.
Yes.
Okay. Like living on the mountaintop, you know, in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? But you can't do that with everybody in a 350 million people country.
Right.
You know?
Well, and I've thought about it. The primaries for Washington are Tuesday.
Yes.
And I think I'm going to go to one of the after parties and just see, right. And you've got all these different candidates with all these different ideas. And what I'm kind of fascinated for is, you know, you get your voter pamphlet, you read through the views of both people, yada, yada. We live in a democratic republic, we elect our representatives, they go vote for us. Right. And how often do we see polls online, right? Of what do you think should happen with this next? Should we have option A, B, C, D? And if instead of a voter pamphlet, it was according to ChatGPT, you know, if we do this thing, if we implement this policy, there's a 76% chance that this outcome will happen. And it's given us statistics and collecting all this data and telling us what should happen. Yeah. How many people, instead of reading a voter pamphlet, are going to go, "Oh, I should vote for this because this AI is giving me good statistics on this." And pretty soon, our form of government kind of shifts. And I know I'm maybe going Orwellian here, or maybe
plutocracy instead of a
yeah. And to your point, what about the people that just want to be left alone?
Well, yeah, there's those, but there's also ones that want to be with other people and still be kind of left alone.
Right.
And honestly, I think in most cultures, no matter what their form of government is, there's a large portion of the public that just wants to get on with their life and be left alone.
Yes.
Sure, they want to have fun with their neighbors, or they want to trade with, you know, the people across the city or whatever, but they want to be free of encumbrance.
Yes.
Free of the things that'll get in the way of their life just going.
Right. Exactly. Well, and you have a lot of that. I've been arguing for a while. You know, we had the .com crash in 2001, housing crash in 2008, whatever we had at the end of the teens. But now you have the highest consumer debt we've ever had. You've got house prices that feel out of reach for a lot of people.
Per capita or just total?
I think it's just total.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because there's more people.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Per capita would. That's a good question.
It's a better measure.
Yeah, it is a better measure. So you have all these things where it feels like everything's kind of right. And what you hear, especially on social media and everything else, is, geez, I'd like to be able to buy groceries. Yeah. I'd like to be able to do this.
Yeah.
So you've got all
They have a picture of what their life wants to look like.
Right.
And it's not happening because something's getting in the way.
Something's getting in the way. Yeah. And so when you already have that kind of unrest, plus you have this rise of an AI technology, plus there's enough.
Yeah. And look at the division that we've been convinced to have.
Right.
You know, political division.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, not only have they offered you the sides, but now you're kind of forced to pick a side.
Right. It all kind of feels like it's coming to a point.
Yeah, it makes you wonder.
It does.
And a lot of my friends that are further on the left, will say this needs to be all burnt down and start over.
You'd probably get that
But
on the
here's
right too.
You might get some of that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. That's what we did
Yeah.
250 years ago.
Right.
And here we are.
Right.
Is it going to be any better the next time?
All right. I've always kind of wondered if it wouldn't be wise to every 100 years, every 4 or 5 generations, something have kind of a reset.
Well, that's what Jefferson said.
Yeah.
He said a little revolution now and then is a good thing.
Is a good thing.
Yeah.
Right. And so what is that like? Because I happen to really like our founding documents.
Yep.
And I know that it missed the mark on some things.
Yep.
And it nailed it on others.
Yep.
But now you've got 250 years of Supreme Court ruling precedent.
Mm-hmm.
You've got things that have clearly changed and technologies that nobody could have anticipated. You've got all this stuff. Should we still be referencing a court decision from 1912 to set what we're doing today?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But I like being a contextualist and a constitutionalist, but I also know that we need some progressivism. And it feels like sometimes a little bit of a reset feels right.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of people on the far left and the far right are scared of a constitutional convention.
Right.
But, they kind of play against each other. And really, if you get the right rules in place, you can't force something on the other side too much.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Well,
and it feels like the sides have flipped anyways. Is a JFK Democrat the same as a 2025 Democrat? I don't know. And is a Reagan Republican the same as a
Trump Republican?
Yeah.
If there is such a thing.
If there is such a thing, I don't think so. Well, labels are so funny to me because we want to be a part of a tribe. We want to be a part of a community. Yeah. And then you stick to it and you go, oh, hold on, the sand shifted underneath my feet and I wasn't even paying attention.
One of my favorite Bugs Bunny cartoons is him and Yosemite Sam. And they're each in their own castle. And they're shooting at each other. Yeah. And the one flag says us and the other flag says them. Yeah. And at one point they get mixed up and they end up with the other's castle. Uh-huh. And so you see the them come down and the us go up.
Yeah,
and that's what our politics is.
That is exactly where we're at today. Oh, man. Bugs Bunny has an answer for everything.
Oh, yeah. Everything I needed to know, I
learned from Bugs Bunny for sure. Yeah. Okay, so we can wrap up. We can do some other things. What are some things about Jim that we have not touched on that you want to explore?
I didn't really have any preconception about what I wanted to explore.
Ah.
I've done enough of what you're doing, not in terms of one-on-one necessarily or podcasting, but I've done a lot of small group leading.
Yeah.
And training small group leaders.
Yeah.
And so I know how to be inductive.
Yeah.
And so I've always felt like the best approach to that, whether you're the inducer or the inductee, is to come with no preconceptions.
Yeah. It's the best way to do it.
So I didn't really come expecting anything in particular.
Okay.
There's a lot of other stuff that are part of my life, but
and that actually makes me think of something that I do want to make sure we explore.
Okay.
So keep that in the back of your mind if there is something that you're like, we should talk about this because it's definitely me info that's good. I want to talk more about your faith.
Okay.
What does it mean because fundamentally, the most fundamental questions to me are, where did we come from? Why are we here? Where are we going?
I agree.
And if anything, having faith gives hope.
I agree with that too.
And so what does your faith look like? What does it mean to you? How do you practice?
The best way I would describe my faith is faith with reason.
Okay.
Both are very important to me. I'm not willing to turn a blind eye to something that is clearly science just because my faith conflicted with it growing up.
Yeah.
I need to adapt my faith.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
200 years ago, if you told people with faith that in America, perhaps, that huge monsters roamed the earth at one point, and that had to have been thousands or millions of years ago because of the evidence we see.
Right.
Those people would have just said, "You're crazy."
Right.
I have the Bible. I have my faith.
Yep.
I have my church. That's what I believe.
Right.
I'm not going to believe that because this is what I believe.
Right. We're working on a 6,000 to 7,000 year time scale here.
Right.
That can't be right.
Right.
Yep.
And so, and let me be clear. When I grew up, I kind of thought a lot of that.
Yeah.
But I don't demean or judge or take anyone into a certain category or position. I don't want to label them. I will love them just as much as I love anybody else.
Yeah.
On either end.
Yes. Yes.
Whether it's the scientist who says there is no God because there can be no God, or whether it's, somebody like what I grew up with, which is, well, I'm going to believe the Bible and not the science,
Right.
So to me, it's faith with reason.
Yeah.
And those questions that you mentioned, where do I come from? Why am I here? Sort of thing. I don't think science can adequately answer those.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that if you're faced with a scientific tenet that is true, that you can ignore it.
Right.
But it just doesn't answer those kinds of questions.
Right.
Faith does.
Yes.
And despite the fact that, and seems like a contradiction, but despite the fact that there are probably 30% of the people in this country that would say we're atheists,
mm-hmm.
there are 80% in this country that says there's got to be some kind of higher power.
Right.
So that doesn't match up.
No. Yeah. That math doesn't math.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think what that says about us is that we have both a spiritual existence and a physical existence.
Yeah.
And the physical existence here and now, is tremendous. It has allowed us to do amazing things.
Yeah.
And if there were no God, and that's all there was, then it would still be amazing things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the accomplishments that we have gone through are incredible.
Yeah.
And maybe even head in that direction, we can turn around some of the stupid stuff we've done,
I hope.
And maybe get heading the right direction in terms of just our accomplishments.
Yeah.
Whether they're good for us or whether they're good for the planet or whatever.
Right.
Okay. So as I got to be a little older, I began to think to myself, well, there's some science out there that doesn't quite match up with what I think. I should probably investigate that,
Yeah.
So I started opening my mind to things that I hadn't been encountered, hadn't encountered. And in the process, learned a lot of science,
What are some examples or an example?
Aging, for example, of the earth,
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's not so much the testing. I mean, the testing supposedly tells you,
Right.
but even if you didn't believe that, you would have to look at the layers,
Right.
and you'd have to be able to say, okay, Kennewick Man is down here somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So based on the layers, he's probably about 9,000 or 10,000 years old. Okay.
Right.
Well, you can't look at that and say, and you can't even look at that and say, well, the flood caused the layers. You have to look at it and say, yeah, there probably was a flood. A lot of cultures around the world,
Oh, it's
have
universal.
the same stories.
Yeah. Yep.
But it probably didn't affect that guy,
Right.
and we can at least go back 6,000 years ourselves and, show our history,
Right.
as humans. And so just things like that,
Yeah.
The layers were important to me.
Yeah.
I had I had a Sunday school teacher growing up who was conservative in his spiritual beliefs and also a theistic evolutionist.
Oh.
And so, he opened up my mind to, oh, okay, there's other people out there that might not exactly think the way I do.
Right.
I need to investigate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And so I've done a lot of that over my life. And,
and I love
where
that
there was
theme.
something that didn't, what match up.
Yeah.
Then I discarded it. But there's a lot of stuff that doesn't match up or not match up.
Right.
In other words, there's spiritual stuff that is merely spiritual.
Yep.
And on the other side of my thoughts and my, investigation, you also have to look around and say, wait a minute, there's a lot of creation here. There must be a creator.
Right.
I think rationality says that
Something
that is
did
the
this.
primary explanation for what is there.
Right. Yeah.
The order that is there, the margins that have to be so close. How far are we away from the sun? How much does our axis tilt? All of that stuff has to be lined
Placement
up
of the
so
moon.
perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That you have to be able to say, there's got to be some creation behind the creator.
Right. Yeah.
Now, do I have it all right? Not necessarily. I'll continue to investigate until the day I die.
Yeah.
Yep. But I won't put up with stopping and saying, okay, it's finalized. I'm done. This is what I believe.
Right.
That's not okay with me.
You have a living faith.
I have a living faith and faith with reason.
Yeah. I like that. I like faith with reason. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Well, and it's so easy to, when you encounter something that does put an aspect of your faith in question, not to shun it, run away from it.
Oh, no. I'll absorb all of that.
Yeah.
For example, the miracles that I have seen personally in my life.
Yeah.
Times when no one knew, as a young couple, we needed some money for rent next month, and they gave us the exact amount that we needed.
Yeah. I love that.
Putting hands on a woman and praying for her to be cured of cancer, and she was.
Yeah.
Putting hands on a friend of mine and praying for his arteries to not be so clogged so he didn't have to have so many stents, and they all became unclogged.
That's incredible.
I mean, it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can't explain that with science.
No, at all. Nope.
The physics rules that we have will never explain that.
Right.
Well, I shouldn't say never. There's a side of me that says, I understand the argument of science that says if we don't understand it now, we will someday.
Right.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm certainly willing to accept that to some degree.
Yeah.
But there are some spiritual things that have nothing to do with physics that are just there.
Yeah.
And if you refuse to try to even think about explaining that, to me, that's just unwise.
Totally. Well, and I've always enjoyed having my ideas challenged.
Absolutely.
Because I want to, it's the
on both
refiner's time.
sides.
On both sides.
Yeah.
If there's something that I can incorporate here or help me look at it from a different way, a lot of the time it's going to strengthen my faith.
Absolutely.
And maybe
I haven't encountered anything that was so extreme that it made me shake my faith to its foundation.
Yes.
I've encountered things that have made me, okay, I need to think about that differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I no longer can believe that.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've never had something so cumbersome that it shook me foundationally.
Right. Well, and there's things that faith in Jesus Christ, right? That is what's going to come along and shake that versus, okay, so timeline in the Bible says 7,000 years, 6,000 years, whatever you want to put it at. Science says this other thing. That's not what my ultimate faith is in.
Well, it doesn't change the fact that I can look around and see that there's a God.
Right.
Even if you don't get down to Jesus.
Right.
Even if you say, just at a merely high level.
Yeah.
I'm looking around.
Something created this. And look at how
if
amazing
it's designed,
it is.
There's a designer.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. This wasn't some pinhead thing that exploded and randomly made this.
Well, and in fairness to the Christian faith or any faith in God for that matter, There are some things that science takes too far. In
Yeah.
other words, the theory of evolution becomes the facts of evolution.
Right.
It's really still a theory.
Yes.
And for the most part, I think it's probably true,
Yeah.
you know, but it doesn't explain everything.
Right.
It doesn't go as far as they think it says
Right.
that it goes,
Totally.
you know.
Well, and I don't think,
Abiogenesis is another example. You know, they've been trying abiogenesis, which is basically life from no life.
Yep.
Okay. That's the study of life to no, or no life to life.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
They've been trying that for 200 years and have come up with virtually nothing.
Right.
You know, protein modifications and amino acid mutations and things like that. They are so precise that if they got modified, you wouldn't have life as it is.
right.
And so, again, I think you've got to look at the wiring and say, there's got to be a wirer here.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly that. Yeah.
So, and then for me to go further than that and to believe the history of the Bible
Yep.
on into, and understanding also the theological aspects. Okay, God wanted this relationship with people, and then he wanted this relationship with his people,
Yep.
you know, and they were okay at that, but not very good at it,
Yeah.
you know. And then as time went by, you know, then he says, okay, they're really messed up. I'm going to send my son to redeem them,
Yeah.
you know, and then make it available to everybody, not
Yeah.
just my people, but it'll be for everybody,
Right.
you know. And to me, that sounds like a God who loves people, a God who cares enough about them to create all this wonderful stuff we enjoy,
Yeah.
you know. And, you know, when you add the original intent, it appears from God, he says, you know, to the, to Moses, you know, well, who should I say that you are? You know, now I am the Lord your God. I am full of love and compassion and mercy and slow to wrath,
Yeah.
you know. So we take that guy and now we implant Jesus's ideas into that.
Yep.
Say, okay, he wants us to love. He didn't care about the rest of the laws so much as he does about this love,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and he wants us to
We're supposed to love him and we're supposed to love
connect
each other
with
as
him
ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't have any trouble with all of that faith.
Yeah.
I have some trouble with some of the things that I've discarded along the way.
Yeah.
You know, I've been working on a book.
Yeah. Well,
That-
yeah, you were saying.
Yeah, well, I've written several stories, but this is intended to be something beyond the story a little bit
Yeah.
about why I'm still a Christian,
Ah,
you know,
yeah.
after all this.
Yeah.
And I haven't buried my head in the sand and said, not going to look, not going to look.
Yeah.
I have looked at everything
Yep.
and said, okay, that is true. Not what I believed growing up, but that is true.
Mm-hmm.
That one's not. And this one really purports to be more than it is,
Yep.
you know? So I'm still with my faith,
Yeah.
just with a lot of the trappings discarded.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very well said. Where are you at with this book?
I got maybe 2 chapters.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, then we'll have to have you back on when you complete it.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about it. Because I would love to get into some more of those specifics because I feel like I've done that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where?
Well, I think it's important. I've once visited a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
In a major U.S. city. And they had this church that was on this campus that had fences all the way around it. And this campus included a preschool, grade school, middle school, high school, college, seminary, and postdoctorate work,
Oh my gosh.
all on the same campus with the church.
Wow.
You could literally be born there and never leave.
Yep. They might as well have had
Keep the blinders on.
echo chamber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it seems like in our desire to be able to do things quickly and efficiently in this culture, we have often looked for short answers. And sometimes those short answers have a tiny little element of truth and a lot of garbage.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very true. Yeah. Well, and that's why I do the podcast, is I hope it encourages people to be able to see outside of their
Yeah.
fenced in,
Yeah.
whatever it is that they.
Yeah. If you grew up like I did, look at the science, look around you. I mean, I remember reading Alan Bloom's book, The Closing of the American Mind. This was 20 or 30 years ago. And basically the idea was that he was a college professor. And basically his idea was, I used to get students that would come with their life set, and it was my idea to challenge that.
Yeah.
Now they're coming with nothing.
Oh.
And so they'll leave anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I didn't want to be one of those people.
Yeah.
I wanted to be challenged.
Yes.
And still be able to hold on to the stuff that I felt survived the challenge.
Yes. Yep. Exactly that. Yeah. I remember even into my 20s, I've always loved debating people. I've always loved taking in new ideas, having my stuff challenged. But it left me with I don't know if lack of confidence is the right word, but just not enough confidence to say I'm right.
Right.
And the more that I've been able to chip away at things, and I've re-examined, it could be politics, it could be religion, it could be name a thing in my life.
Yep.
The more that I've been able to chip away, it's that big slab of marble, and underneath there's a beautiful statue. And that's what's going to stand the test of time. It ain't the block.
Yeah.
It's the statue underneath.
Yeah.
And I feel
probably not
like
going to look what you thought it was going to look
it
like.
never does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jim, anything else before we wrap up?
Well, after we'd raised all our kids and the last one moved out, there was about a year and a half where I thought, we're done.
Oh.
And because of the difficulties of our oldest daughter, we ended up raising her two boys.
Oh, yeah.
So now we are raising a almost 18-year-old grandson, and a 12-year-old grandson.
Ah.
And so that's second round, I guess, or second chapter or whatever.
Yeah.
Of parenthood. I was rather bitter about it at first.
Were you?
I didn't want to do it because there was a lot of strain on my soul.
Yeah.
Raising four highly difficult kids.
Yeah.
And I was ready to be done. So first 2-3 years, I was not in on it. I was not okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm doing better.
I mean, that sounds like some time on your knees.
Yeah, a lot of that.
Yeah.
And, and sometimes when you go to God, all the best you can say is that, okay, I think I trust you. I don't want to do what you want me to do, but I want to do it. So can you help me want to do it?
Yeah.
I
mean, that's almost like a help thou my unbelief.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of moment. Yeah.
Because he had made it pretty clear what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And
it kind of sounds like you and your wife were built for it.
Well, we're probably in a better situation than a lot of people are.
Yeah.
That would try to do that.
Yeah.
We have some friends, and her sister her sister couldn't raise her two kids. And so her mom, the grandma, raised the two kids for 3 years. And I could foresee that. And I wasn't looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hoping there was a different
But
thing
it's not about
come
the
along.
grandkids. And if they ever listen to this, I don't want them to think it is. It's about my expectations and having thought I was done,
Yeah.
and needing to adjust those expectations.
Yeah.
And get in line with the work that God wanted us to do.
Yeah.
My wife is in line from the beginning, so that's good.
Yeah. Is it different this time around than with the four?
Sure, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
There's only two instead of four.
Yeah.
We've had them basically from the beginning. You know?
Yeah.
The younger one we had from the beginning. The older one had 5 years.
Okay.
With his mom, and he has some issues to deal with. You know.
Yeah.
Just like our kids did.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, show me a kid that doesn't.
Yeah. So there's two, and that's different, and they're both boys, and that's different, and we're here instead of Vancouver, and that's different.
Yeah.
And not just on the outside, but there's some challenges that we've not faced before.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
And doing it at 60, it's a lot different than doing it at 30. Let me tell you.
My daughter wants to, and my younger boy want to do stuff. And I'm like, man, I got to think about if I have the energy to do that.
Right.
It's different.
You need young uncles and aunts.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly that. I'm like 25 is different than 35 is different than
60.
Yeah. So I'll send you some good vibes, some energy on, so you can help tackle that hopefully. Oh man. Yeah. Well, and it's different. I'm always having to fight with get off the technology, get off the iPad, get off the PS5.
For them or for yourself?
Yeah. No, with them. Well, me, it's the flipping phone.
Well, as adults, I think sometimes it's often more an escape.
Yeah.
Whereas with kids, it's just purely not being bored.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I got my youngest off yesterday and he goes, what do I do?
Yeah.
I'm like, come learn how to play the drums or any of the other 5, 6, 7 instruments that we have. Go draw, go to the park, go find a buddy. Go. I mean, I can give you a list of 100 things that you can do.
Find 5 different animals outside.
Yeah.
Write them down.
Yeah. I'm bored. Okay. All right.
No, I always threaten. Oh, you're bored? I've got lots of stuff for you to do.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, but you got one almost they are 18?
Yeah.
Your oldest? Okay.
And hopefully he'll graduate this year.
Yeah. That'd be good. That'd be good. And the other one, how old did you say? Number 12.
He's the one I went to baseball with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure he had a blast.
We both had a great time.
Yeah.
I took the other one to Seattle because he enjoys that more. And spring break last year.
Yeah.
And we went to used to be the Hendrix Museum. It's
the
Museum
Experience Music.
now.
Yeah, they switched the name. Yeah. Yeah, that spot's good.
Yeah. We sat in a studio room for a little while and jammed. And
does he like music?
oh yeah, he's really
so you two get to connect on music.
Yeah, we got connected on music, and the other one and I got it connected on baseball.
Sports. Ah, cool. What does the oldest play?
Everything.
See,
Plays
that's
trumpet. He plays percussion, which is like 2,000 different instruments.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And piano, and yeah.
Cool. That sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's good at it. He probably knows more about music theory than I did after 2 years of music college.
Oh, that's good too. I swear they just absorb that stuff like sponges.
Well, and he composes. He's good at it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that'll carry him far.
I think so. There's stuff that when you're young, they're impediments that as you look back are little impediments, but they seem huge at the time.
Yep.
And if you can't get over them and get to the goals that you have, that's tough,
Yeah.
Expectations, dreams, and the dashing of those, can be really hard.
Yeah.
And when you're an adult, it can turn you into something that you weren't.
Yeah. That's a good way of saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really tried hard with all the decisions that I made not to regret them.
Yeah.
Made an intentional in my mind, okay, this is dicey, just going to choose one or the other and I'm not going to regret it.
Yeah.
And I've come close a few times, but I think for the most part, this was probably the difficult one, was raising the grandkids.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And again, nothing about them, just about me and thinking I was done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, God had a plan.
Yeah, he does.
Yep.
I don't always like it, but
Nope.
I try to accede to it.
Yep. Exactly that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my famous last question.
Oh, sure.
Unless there's anything else.
Like I said, no expectations today.
Okay.
So a million other ways we could go, but
Well,
not necessary.
we will. We're pushing. We're right at about 3:20.
Oh, wow.
I think that's
gone
it's
quick.
usually a good time frame. Last question: if you had a megaphone that could reach everybody in the world,
yeah,
what's your message to them?
There is a God. He loves you. And he's not what you thought.
It's a good message.
Yeah.
What do you mean by the last part?
Well, I think that I remember the quote by Gandhi. I like this Christ. I do not like these Christians.
It's a good one.
You know, I mean, he's often portrayed improperly.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's marrying politics and religion, or whether it's using it as to beat other people. You know, you can't blame God for what his followers do.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes they're not even his followers; they just think they are.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
that's kind of what I mean.
I like it. There is a God. He loves you. It's not what you think he is. So good. Jim, this has been a blast.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
I've enjoyed it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Main Character Podcast. If you dig the content, please click that follow button. And if you found today's guest inspiring, please share this episode with someone you think will benefit from it. If you'd like to be a guest on Main Character Podcast, reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, where I'd also appreciate a follow. All links can be found at my website, coachwithbrandon.com.